Bojangles come to you. Satisfy your craving for flavor right now with Bojangles two-piece dinner. 2 pieces of Bojangles dark meat chicken, your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and iced tea for just $5.99. That's right, just $5.99 for limited time at participating Bojangles. What are you waiting for? When you're hungry, it's always Bo time.
Lanny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career and they talked to me about it.
He was done in just months.
I did do it online.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at My Computer Career.
It worked for me and I know it can work for you.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
I'm at a smoothie bar asking people if they'd switch smoothies with me for $574.
Oh, I'll switch.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
That's a headache.
Nope, it's painless.
Oh, so it's easy money.
Yep, check Allstate first and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
Tim Donnelly here to tell you that people are talking about Window Nation. Their customer, Vicky, says we couldn't be happier. This was a great experience. Window Nation is about value, and this August, they're giving you a great value during their anniversary sale. Buy 2 windows and get 2 free. There's no limit to how much you could save. Plus, pay nothing for 24 months. Act now and get an extra $250 credit. Hurry, sale ends August 31st, so schedule a fast in-home estimate right now at 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
He scores! What a comeback!
Visit GotBryan.com. That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. The first rain bands from Debbie working their way in across our viewing area this afternoon. We'll continue to see rain heavy at times all the way through Saturday. We have a flood watch in effect through late Friday. 5 to 10 inches or more of rain is what we'll end up seeing before this is all over. And some gusty winds. Our best chance of any wind damage would be Friday.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 3 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is up 573 points today to 39,276.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I'm Tim Donnelly, Dennis Cox, producing the show. Yesterday, we had a conversation about should Bryce Young play in the preseason. Sometimes things you say on air inform how you will react to news. Because when we thought it was a question of will Bryce Young play or not, I was pretty emphatic that I thought he should play. And play probably more, like I lean on the side of play him more than most people would. He needs the reps. The team needs the reps. They need to get on the same page. There's confidence to be built. And there's less, contendership for the Panthers to protect, right? If a player gets hurt, misses 3 weeks of the season, it's not like it's costing you the number 1 seed, if you catch my drift. So I said all of that yesterday. Like, I like to think because I did quite a bit of preparation, there was like a well thought out argument with topic A, topic B, this reason, that reason. It was like the outlines you used to have to write up in middle school English before you wrote your term paper. And then today, about noon, the news comes out that Dave Canales announces to the media that Bryce Young will not be playing Thursday in the preseason opener for the Carolina Panthers. And as much as I like Dave Canales, and I do think he's a good dude, I think his energy is refreshing for the Panthers. He seems like a coach with the proper kind of career resume to maybe bring something new to the Panthers and uplift that offense. Because of everything I said yesterday, I can't even try to spin this for you. Right? I firmly said, you play Bryce Young and you play him a lot. And then the next day it came out and said, actually, we're not going to play him at all in the first preseason game. So needless to say, I'm going to sound negative for the next 6 or 7 minutes. Bryce Young should be playing in Thursday's preseason game. He will not be. That is robbing him and the offense of another chance to get on the same page. Matter of fact, I'll take it one step further. One of the thought processes, observations is a better word. One of the observations about Panthers training camp, that a question that's being asked by those covering the team is, why aren't more deep balls being thrown in training camp? Why isn't Bryce Young testing the defense downfield more? Why aren't wide receivers getting a chance to make bigger plays on deep throws? Dave Canales earlier this week had that question presented to him, and he said a big part of the reason why there's not more deep ball opportunities is because of the way the defense is playing, right? The way Ejiro Evero's defensive system is working, part of those fundamental strategies are keep the ball in front of you. We have the sound of Dave Canales explaining that, so here it is.
Yeah, I think it's number one, our scheme defensively is fantastic, so it's really hard. This scheme right here really maximizes the disguise. They do so many good things that make it hard for you to kind of know when you're going to be able to get that shot down the field. And so it's just a matter of, for our quarterbacks, especially studying our guys, to say, this is a look when this shot would be good, And I think, generally speaking, as far as training camps go, our deep ball production kind of increases the further into camp we get, and it really does show up more in games. When you're out here in a practice setting, a lot of the times the defense and secondary play a little bit more conservative. In games, they're more liable to take a shot on a guy or try to cover something where you can set up some of those shots. But and it's definitely something we just have to, bottom line, just improve on and get opportunities on. So I'd love to see more production down the field, yes, but it's been really difficult against our defense right now.
So if the number one option, the number one reason you're not getting the opportunity to work on your deep ball completions, which are a big part of the NFL, right? If you give somebody the option, you can go 14 plays and convert 3 third downs, or you can just throw a 65-yard touchdown. Yeah, we know which one of those it takes less effort, right? Has less degree of difficulty. So if one of the reasons why you can't complete more deep balls, you're not even attempting more deep balls, is because the Panthers' defensive scheme is all about keeping the ball in front of you, where might Bryce Young get to play against a different defensive scheme? Thursday night against the Patriots. Mm-hmm. And what else did he say, if you paid attention there? Dave Canales said also, in practices, guys tend to be more conservative. They tend to sit back. In games, they tend to be more aggressive. That's where you can take shots downfield. Where might you get more of a game look for Bryce Young to throw downfield?
In a game?
Thursday against the Patriots. But you're not playing him Thursday against the Patriots. You're going to keep controlling the situation by only letting him play in practice, where you've just admitted, for multiple reasons, he doesn't get to explore the entirety of the playbook.
Which, by the way, the Panthers did not have one pass completion over 50 yards last season.
Not a darn one. There were points in time where they completed, like, I think it was a 28-yarder to Adam Thielen on the sideline.
Mm-hmm.
It was the game we were sitting at Ale House downtown, Carolina Ale House.
Yeah, Monday night game.
And I went, like, I think that's the longest completion, longest play of the entire season. Eventually, there was maybe a Mingo, a Chark catch, and a Miles Sanders run, but there really weren't that many big-time plays.
It was practice squad Mike. Had the
the
longest completion, I think, of 48 yards.
You're exactly right.
Practice squad Mike.
It is an issue if your offense isn't picking up chunk plays. Now, if in practice, and I just said this on the Adam Gold Show not long ago, if in practice the defense is giving you a, hey, don't throw a deep ball look, then I never, ever, ever want Bryce Young to force a pass somewhere. Like, hey, we just need to get Deontay a deep ball, so, even if it's two safeties and they're both deep, chuck it out there.
Yep.
Never want that to happen. Right? If in practice the right read is the underneath stuff every single time, I need Bryce Young throwing the underneath stuff every single time, because that's what good quarterbacks do, right? You let the defense decide where you throw the ball. But if that's the case, then I need to get him in the situations where the deep ball is called for. And that might be preseason games. But we're not going to get a chance to see that because they're not playing Bryce Young. So in addition to just the big, overarching, generic, young quarterbacks need reps, Bryce Young needs to get comfortable in the offense, Dave Canales needs to get comfortable calling plays for Bryce Young in every situation. The wide receivers, particularly the new ones like Deontay Johnson, need to be on the exact same page with Bryce Young. In addition to all of that, you just need to get out of practice mode, which is essentially what Dave Canales said is the reason for them not throwing down the field more. It's like, well, we're in practice mode.
Yeah.
Right? Our defense keeps it in front of them, and they're a little bit more conservative in practice. All right, well, how do we try that, right? How do we get a world where Bryce Young has to throw downfield? Because there will be times in the regular season, particularly if the Panthers run as much as we think they're going to run, where the opposing team's defense is not as disciplined keeping everything in front of them. They're going to creep towards the line of scrimmage. The safeties are going to come down to help with the run, and they're going to be vulnerable to over-the-top stuff. But if Bryce Young hadn't thrown it since Alabama, then he's not going to be ready to take advantage of it.
Yeah.
Play him in the preseason. If he doesn't play preseason week 2, see, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to paint myself into a corner, so if they don't play him, I have to get real mad again. If he doesn't play in preseason week 2, I'm going to be baffled beyond belief. I'll start asking big theoretical questions.
At least leading up to preseason game number 2, which is a home game against the Jets, they are going to have joint practices with the New York Jets. So they're going to have a couple of those.
Yes,
so okay,
which is
at
another
least
good
you're going to
opportunity.
get that.
Yes. Absolutely. Because if there's anything we know about the Jets secondary, they can be beat over the top. Because all we see is Aaron Rodgers throwing it to Garrett Wilson over the top every day all over Twitter.
Yeah.
Malachi Corley catching deep balls, so we know they're gettable outside of Sauce Gardner. The drive with Tim Donnelly here on 99.9 The Fan. Here's Dennis Cox.
Hey, Dennis Cox here with my friends over at Law Tigers. Here's the thing. We always talk about, preparation, practice, making sure that you're prepared to get out there on whatever it is you're doing, whether it's on the field, on the court, and jumping in the swimming pool, whatever it might be. Preparation is everything. And it's no different when it comes to a motorcycle. If you are new to riding a motorcycle, or maybe you've had a motorcycle in the past and you're getting back into riding one, or maybe it's just been sitting under a cover for a while and you're just kind of dusting things off, practice a little bit before you take the thing out on the road. Make sure your bike is in proper working order. Make sure you have all your basic skills and stuff down, because when you get out on the highway, you don't want to forget how to do something, because that might end up leading into a pretty bad situation. But if you ever are on the road and injured in the motorcycle accident, this is where Law Tigers comes in. Give them a call at 1-800-LAW-TIGERS before you call your insurance company if you're injured in a motorcycle accident, because insurance companies want to pay you the least amount possible. Law Tigers, they're riders too. They understand what your bike and your gear are worth and what you're going through after an accident. Your case evaluation is always free, and they do not get paid until your case settles. So call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, is going to be talking about the documentary When Giants Walked Here, which is coming out on PBS, chronicling the rise and fall of pro wrestling at Dorton Arena in Raleigh, with one of the guys that made it happen. Cliff Baumgartner joins us in studio, I believe, coming up next.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Dak Prescott should be the one voice in that organization. He always says the right thing. He always presents a great front, and he always presents team first, winning, class. He's awesome. He should be the one voice. They will never do it. There shouldn't be the Jerry Jones weekly radio show. There shouldn't be the Jerry Jones press conferences, all the different things he says. But that man, Dak Prescott, should be the one voice in that organization.
Mornings from 6 to 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Spectrum Internet has enough speed to handle all your needs, so you can work, game, and stream with speeds up to 1 gig. Plus, Spectrum's advanced Wi-Fi provides enhanced security for all your connected devices. Get Spectrum Internet with fast and reliable speeds, starting at just $29.99 a month with a 2-year price guarantee. Visit spectrum.com/internet for you for full details. Offers subject to change, valid for qualified residential customers only. Restrictions apply.
I'm at the movies, asking people if they'll switch seats with me for $574.
Here, take mine.
So what about $574 if you switch your home insurance to Allstate?
Man, too much work.
Not if you call them. They handle the switching.
Now, that's a plot twist.
Shh. Check Allstate first, and you could save hundreds on quality home insurance today. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Not available in every state. Based on the national average annual savings for new home insurance customers surveyed in 2023 who switched to Allstate and reported savings. Savings vary.
Batter up! Theater Raleigh presents Bull Durham, a new musical playing Duke University's Reynolds Industries Theater in Durham, September 10th through the 22nd. Based on the classic movie, the film's original screenwriter Ron Shelton has adapted the story for the musical, so you can follow Crash Davis's Durham Bulls story and his romantic love triangle in a new genre. The perfect blend of comedy, drama, and steamy romance. Get your tickets for Bull Durham, a new musical, today. Details and ticket info at theaterraleigh.com.
See if you're a winner every night. Watch live lottery drawings on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. That's right. Carolina Pick 3, Carolina Pick 4, and Carolina Cash 5 numbers every night on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. See if you're a winner before you go off to bed. Get your lottery numbers live every night.
North Carolina Education Lottery.
Only on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news.
Meet Cheryl. Hey. She's on vacation and lost in the moment. Unfortunately, so is her Chase debit card.
It's gotta be somewhere.
Maybe she lost it at salsa night.
These skirts should have pockets.
Or maybe she lost it at Pilates.
3 and 2 and...
But she's not worried. With the Chase mobile app, she can lock her card till it turns up. Tools that help protect. One bank that puts you in control. Visit chase.com/checking. Chase, make more of what's yours.
Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC.
This is it. Shop the Lowe's Closeout event to get up to 70% off select major appliances for your home. Plus, get up to 60% off select patio furniture and accessories for your outdoor spaces. So hurry into your local store today because these deals are too good to last. Shop them now before they're gone because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 8/7 while supplies last. Selection varies by location.
Westwood One Sports presents this special update on the 2024 Summer Games. Sophia Smith's goal in extra time gave the U.S. women's soccer team a 1-0 win over Germany in their semifinal match. The Americans will play for their first Olympic gold since 2012 on Saturday against the winner of the Spain-Brazil match that is just getting underway. Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone led a trio of American women into the final of the 400-meter hurdles. McLaughlin-Levrone cruised to the top spot in her heat, while Jasmine Jones and Anna Cockrell each took second in their heats to advance. American Cole Hocker pulled off a massive upset to win gold in the men's 1,500 meters. Hocker set an Olympic record with a time of 3:27.65. Yared Nuguse of the U.S. won the bronze. And the U.S. men's basketball team will face Brazil in a quarterfinal matchup set to tip off in the next 30 minutes. The United States is 9-0 all-time against Brazil in Olympic play. Their last meeting came in '96 in Atlanta. With this Summer Games update, I'm Ryan Radke, Westwood One Sports.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Doors take us to summers away or winter adventures and afternoon getaways. Your dedicated Fidelity advisor can help you open those doors by working with you on a comprehensive plan to help you reach your wealth's full potential. Because doors were meant to be opened. Visit fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimum supply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE SIPC.
Paris Summer Games updates on 99.9 The Fan are brought to you by North Carolina FC. Get your tickets today at northcarolinafc.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We are now joined in studio by Cliff Baumgartner, director and co-producer, along with friend of the show, Chris Lee, his over at WRAL, Cliff's co-producer, of the documentary When Giants Walked Here. It's premiering on PBS. Documentary chronicles the rise and fall of pro wrestling at Dorton Arena here in the Triangle in Raleigh, examining its impact on generations of fans, competitors, and the sport itself. Cliff, thank you for joining us here in studio.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me.
I've heard you started working on this doc like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So after that long trek, how can people watch it? Like, how excited are you to put this out to the public?
Man, we're so excited. We're at that point of like we're excited and also like ready for it just to be out. Like I'm exhausted of everything it's taking to get here. Yeah, this Thursday, PBS North Carolina, 10 p.m. It'll be live on television. You can watch it, but you can also go ahead right now and get the PBS app. It's a free app. And as soon as the film is done on television, it will be available for streaming on the app all over the country. So if you're listening to this, you're in town, you're going to be somewhere else on Thursday, you can watch it anywhere.
Now, I haven't watched it, but I've read up on some of the doc. One of the things I love, and obviously with you being a filmmaker, you've probably heard it, is when like the Departed happens, and then Martin Scorsese says one of the characters actually is the city of Boston.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And you roll your eyes a little bit, but then you watch a movie and you're like, it kind of is. This documentary, obviously wrestling documentary, is kind of, if you had to pick one description, but there's a lot of Raleigh history. There's a lot of state history in it as well. What role does kind of our community play in that?
Oh, totally. I feel like the movie's really all about the community, right? When we set out to do this, I remember telling PBS, like, this is the best documentary you're ever going to see about professional wrestling in a historical building, because it's also the only documentary you're ever going to see. But what that meant for us was we couldn't just focus on wrestling or focus on the building. You've got to focus on why that matters and how that affects people. Stories are about people, right? And so those people became the fans and the competitors themselves, the owners, the business people, the promoters who put shows on in Dorton originally for over 30 years and now who are back doing it again, and what that means to the community, both, from a financial perspective, but also from a cultural perspective, and what it means to have something like that in your hometown that you can go to every single week.
Cliff Baumgartner joining us here in studio on The Drive with Tim Donnelly, he's the director and co-producer of When Giants Walked Here, documentary premiering on PBS and the PBS streaming app this Thursday. I don't know if this is too broad, but why did wrestling become so popular here, and why did it grow so many roots that we're still talking about it all these years later?
Well, it's funny to think about now. It's hard to imagine a time before we had, the Charlotte Hornets, or before we had the Panthers, or before we had other sports. But for generations in North Carolina, you had NASCAR and you had pro wrestling. And so in that void, pro wrestling became not just a television staple, which it was, but a weekly live event all over the South, not just North Carolina, but the entire Mid-Atlantic region was just rife with wrestling, multiple towns a night in some cases, every single night of the week. And it became a phenomenon here. And it was something that, now you watch wrestling on television. That's really cool. But this was, you could go see your favorite wrestlers, the biggest stars on TV in your town every single Tuesday. And you do that for 30 years and it just creates that. There's nothing else like it,
And it's all at Dorton Arena. I mean, you bring up the building. What was it about that building? And I don't know if it's a structural thing or if it's a vibe thing.
Sure.
You're going to be the expert on this. But that made it so comfortable to be like the melting pot and, such a wide array of socioeconomic backgrounds, racial backgrounds. Everybody felt so comfortable going there to watch an event.
That was actually kind of part of the original idea of Dorton Arena. So something we talk about in the film quite extensively is Dorton was built after World War II, and its designer was from Poland, had seen fascism very close up in Poland, and wanted to fight back, basically saw that architecture could be a way to bring people together. So if you look at Dorton, if you've ever been in Dorton, there's no columns. There's no walls that are breaking up the space. You are literally all in one room together. There's no VIP boxes. There's no, there's none of that. This was a space that was meant to draw people together, which becomes perfect for a wrestling show where there's not a bad seat in the house. It's not like we think of today where, you've got fancy boxes and special places and all that. This was literally the farmer's kid sat next to the scientist kid. There's stories of North Carolina governors sitting in there and watching wrestling matches. I mean, this was everybody in one space, and wrestling kind of achieved what Dorton's designers had hoped for.
Cliff Bumgarner, director and co-producer of the documentary When Giants Walked Here, chronicling the rise and fall of pro wrestling at Dorton Arena in Raleigh. I want to hit on that it's the rise and fall.
Yeah.
Everything you're saying sounds awesome, right? It sounds like a great arena, great events, awesome people, everybody's enjoying themselves. How does something like that why are we not talking about, it's Tuesday, why it's raining outside today, why are we not talking about going to catch a wrestling event?
The shortest version of that is that wrestling became less regional. For decades, wrestling was you had what they called the territories, which was all over the country. You had these local regional businesses that promoted in their area, in their territory. In the 80s, it started to go national. You have television to thank for that in large part, but then you also have these other companies that were going around and buying up wrestling territories, trying to go national, trying to make it bigger. The local territory here, the Mid-Atlantic territory run by Jim Crockett Promotions, had a similar fate. They ultimately sold to Ted Turner Broadcasting, who took it national. And when they did that, you stop running some of these towns. Running a 5,000 seat building in Raleigh maybe wasn't as lucrative or appetizing as going to Philadelphia, Chicago, whatever. So when that happened, it kind of constricted. And by the mid-90s, there was not wrestling in Dorton anymore.
What are your thoughts on, because I just watched it recently, what are your thoughts on the Iron Claw? The movie with Zac Efron and everything that I assume tells a relatively similar story. Obviously
Sure.
pretty boy get jacked up Hollywood version of it, but from a different part of the country.
I love it, man. I love that there's so much stuff like that out there about wrestling now. It's one of those things that, people have the way that they feel about wrestling, right? Mm-hmm. Is it real? Is it not? Is it this? Is it that? But at the end of the day, we have so much great media out there about wrestling that shows that it's really just storytelling, and it's personal stories, human stories, cultural stories. That's what we tried to do in the doc, and to make something that if you're listening to this and you go, I don't care anything about wrestling, there's still something for you there. And that's what I thought Iron Claw did really well too.
We're talking with Cliff Bumgarner, director and co-producer When Giants Walked Here. Check it out on PBS. PBS North Carolina, you said 10 o'clock this Thursday?
10 o'clock.
And it'll also be on the streaming app. Before we let you go, I feel like when we have big wrestling fans here, we have to ask, right? You said, you could go and see your favorite wrestlers at Dorton Arena. Who are your guys? Who are the ones that made you fall in love with the entirety of professional wrestling?
My first love as a kid was Sting.
Okay.
I had the big...
You're getting a nod from our producer, Dennis Cox.
Absolutely. I had the big Sting plushie. If anybody remembers the ads in the 90s where they had these big plushies, and the ad is just Sting fighting a kid in a house for some reason. It's the strangest ad to advertise these things. I had that growing up. Sting was a big guy of mine. Got older, it was Triple H, who now actually runs WWE, which is pretty cool. And these days, I'm a big CM Punk fan.
Okay.
Pretty divisive guy, but I'm on his side.
I was going to say, bold to come out as a CM Punk guy when you want everybody to be watching
I
the
know,
documentary.
I know, right?
The documentary is When Giants Walked Here, premiering on PBS Thursday at 10. There's some screenings and stuff, but I assume they're all booked up.
Pretty much. We're pretty much sold out now.
The documentary chronicles the rise and fall of pro wrestling at Dorton Arena in Raleigh, examining its impact on generations of fans, competitors, and the sport itself. Dennis, I saw you putting your hand up. Was there something you wanted to throw in
I was saying a special showing at the Rialto tonight.
We do. We have a showing. It is looking like it is sold out, but it's also going to be a rainy night, so I think there's a pretty good chance that people can still get in. You can sign up online. There's a wait list right now. It is a free event, so people often drop out. So if you're hearing this, go to pbsnc.org. You can probably still get in, but it's close.
All right. Once again, that's Cliff Bumgarner. Cliff, we appreciate it.
Thanks so much, man.
Tim Donnelly here. As we transition quickly, I want to tell you about what's going on over at Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location. Specifically, when you walk into the Village District location in Raleigh, turn left. They have the Omega Boutique. It's brand new, premiered this year. It's the second largest Omega Boutique of its kind in the country. And when it comes to luxury timepieces, watches, Omega has the history. They're the official Olympic timekeeper. So when you saw that very dramatic race that came down to a photo finish, they were the ones executing that. And if they're trusted to decide who the winner is at that scale, you can probably trust them to keep the time on your wrist and do so with a presence and a statement piece. The Speedmasters, the Seamasters, the Constellations, the DeVilles, these iconic models of Omegas are all available right inside Bailey's Fine Jewelry at their Village District location in Raleigh. Walk in, turn to your left, head to the Omega Boutique. It's pretty darn cool. With that being said, we're going to take a break, but when we come back, we need to hit our 99 questions about the college football season. We're looking at road trips for fans. Stick around.
Atlantic Spas and Billiards, Buffalo Brothers, and Newcomb & Company want you to see football live in Las Vegas. It's our fan football flyaway. Starting Thursday, we'll reveal keywords every hour from noon to 6. Text in the keywords to enter for chances to win a trip or two to Las Vegas. We'll fly you to an amazing room at the Mandalay Bay Hotel and Casino, and we'll hook you up with seats for the Carolina-Las Vegas game. The fan football flyaway, only on 99.9 The Fan.
How was everyone's first day at the North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club?
Oh, me? I set the high score in mini golf.
I tried a new food called wasabi.
Oh, I did absolutely nothing. It was amazing.
There's no wrong way to be a winner. New $50,000 payout and $1 million cash word are here. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.54 to 3.58. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Organize easy. Organize tough. Customize your work truck or van with upfit solutions from Van Products. Steel and aluminum shelving, toolboxes, data files, cabinets, drawers, conduit carriers, ladder racks, everything safe and secure. Everything built as unbreakable as you by Adrian Steel. Backed by the best warranty in the business. 3 years, 36,000 miles. Everything custom installed by Van Products so you know it's done right. From a single work rig to a fleet, choose custom installed upfit solutions from Van Products.
Is your heating and air system ready for hot weather? Call Newcomb & Company today to schedule a routine maintenance and ensure your system is operating at peak performance. Become a Comfort Contract customer to receive priority service and a 15% discount on service calls and repairs for HVAC and plumbing work. Newcomb & Company has served the area as a Carrier Factory authorized dealer for more than 3 generations. Turn to the experts today. Call 919-862-3000 or find us at newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company and Carrier. Your comfort is our business.
It's bow time.
A leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99?
Leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99?
So crispy.
So crispy.
And juicy.
And juicy.
So much flavor.
So much.
Stop it. What are you doing?
What, you expect me to get this delicious deal and not say anything?
You're unbelievable.
You're unbelievable.
With a boldly seasoned leg and thigh, choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea, it's a deal so good it's worth repeating. So eat and repeat while it lasts. It's bow time.
It's bow time.
Dine in, drive through, or tap your favorite delivery app and have Bojangles come to you. Satisfy your craving for flavor right now with Bojangles 2-piece dinner. 2 pieces of Bojangles dark meat chicken, your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and iced tea for just $5.99. That's right, just $5.99 for limited time at participating Bojangles. What are you waiting for? When you're hungry, it's always Bo time.
Veterans, did you know VA mortgage rates have plummeted and you can now access up to 100% of your home's equity and turn that into cash right now? Hey, it's Roger Moore, President and CEO of Loan Pronto, announcing our VA Equity Advantage program. This VA offer can get you $50, $70, $100,000 cash out with no junk fees and no hassle, with APRs in the 5s. You can pay off all those credit cards, personal loans, car loans, and get one easy-to-manage payment. Veterans we help save on average $850 per month. And listen, if you're a veteran with a current mortgage rate over 6.25%, we can do a streamlined refinance with no income verification and no appraisal, saving you hundreds a month. At Loan Pronto, we respect what you've done for our country, and we show it. Call now and ask about our special VA Equity Advantage program. 919-381-1760. 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. 919-381-1760.
Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval. NMLS consumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Thank you once again to Cliff Bumgarner, director and co-producer of When Giants Walked Here, documentary premiering on PBS Thursday. Appreciate him stopping in studio, but also when he stops in at 3:15, that means we have to push back our 99 questions about the college football season. And today's question is a little bit more lighthearted. Sometimes we're looking for, who's going to have the best of a position group. Today, if you're a fan of each team in the triangle, Duke, NC State, and UNC, what's the best road trip? You got an away game, right? I know I have friends. I know people that schedule one cool vacation around an away game each year. They want to take in maybe check a stadium off the list, maybe experience a new part of the country, and also see a football game. Which is the best road trip for each triangle team's fans? I'll start by saying this. In asking this question, because, right, you got to ask it before you answer it. In asking this question and then starting my research, I learned that teams are not thinking about cool vacations for their fans.
No?
Maybe they never were, but it seemed like as a kid, most teams had one, like, let's go to a cool away stadium. Let's go to a California. Mm-hmm. Let's do something in the non-conference schedule that we can maybe recruit with.
Like, let's go to L.A. and play USC.
Yeah.
Or UCLA, something like that.
Yeah, let's go to UNLV, play in Vegas. Let's, go to the Big House. Like, there's I don't know, it just seemed like there was more of that. Because I looked at the schedules, and I have to admit, none of them have great answers. Like, no. There's no, like, hey, you're playing University of Hawaii. Like, there's none of that. Which school should we go with first?
Let's start off with, let's go Duke.
Duke. This is actually the one with the best answer.
Okay.
But it's on accident. It's Northwestern in week 2. Have you seen what Northwestern has to do this year and next year?
For what?
Their stadium. So they're getting a new stadium.
All right.
But it's not available till 2026. And I believe they're building it in the same place their old stadium was.
Okay.
So they're displaced for 2 years.
Oh, wow.
But they happen to have their lacrosse and soccer stadium.
Yeah.
Which is essentially on the beach of Lake Michigan.
Yes, it's right there on the water.
That's where they're playing their football games.
Yeah, okay.
They're building up some kind of temporary more stands so you can, like, have a decent football crowd, I guess.
I'm sure for, like, TV purposes and stuff, too, you need that.
And this year and next year, they're playing, like, on the beach of Lake Michigan. So, to me, that's at least unique. It's something kind of
It's a
cool.
little different.
The cool part of the country, Midwest, get out there.
Evanston's a beautiful town. I've been through there before. It's just north of Chicago.
So, yeah, maybe spend some time in Chicago.
There you go.
Eat at the Bear Restaurant. There's things you can do there. So if you're a Duke football fan and you're looking at the away options, there's at Middle Tennessee State. Then there's a bunch of, I don't want to say like run-of-the-mill, but kind of run-of-the-mill ACC schools. You can go to Atlanta for Georgia Tech. You can go to Miami. I mean, that's always Miami, right? Get some good Cuban food. NC State's not going to be much of a drive for you. Wake Forest isn't going to be much of a drive for you.
Yeah.
To me, that's the most obvious answer in the world. Go sit on the beach of Lake Michigan, catch a football game in a soccer stadium.
Especially since it's early on in the year, too. It's not going to be super cold. Weather's actually going to feel kind of nice. That really is a nice area. When I lived in Wisconsin, I was just over the border from Illinois, so Evanston was about an hour south from where I lived.
If you plan on making the trip, hit up Dennis Cox on Twitter at the Fan Rookie for recommendations.
I've got some great spots you can hit up there.
Get some restaurant recs.
Actually, you know what? Fly to Milwaukee. Stay down in Kenosha. Great breakfast spot called the Coffee Pot. Then you go to Kaiser's, get pizza at night that Friday night. Literally right there on the water is the marina on Lake Michigan. Then you take a train down to Evanston the next morning. You're good to go, folks.
There you go.
I
the
got
whole
you.
trip
I
is
got
planned.
you.
Let's see if you can do that again for one of the other schools.
Okay, let's go. Let's go Carolina.
Carolina. At Minnesota to open the season.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I like different football environments. I have to be honest, the Minnesota football culture, I know almost nothing about. I know PJ Fleck. I know Row the Boat. I know, what they show us on the Big Ten football broadcasts when Michigan is playing Minnesota. But as far as the actual culture, Trey Lance is from there.
Yeah.
That's about all I got.
Hey, if you like Prince.
If you like Prince. If you're I don't know, a Vikings fan.
Big Mighty Ducks fan.
Yeah, you go. There's got to be something cool hockey related out there.
Absolutely.
I don't know much about the Minnesota football culture, so I thought that would be one where you could go up on a Thursday and kind of immerse yourself for a little bit. I'm sure there's a hunting trip or something you could mix in there. I don't know. Minnesota. What do you do in Minnesota for fun?
Once again, the Twin Cities in early September. Weather's going to feel great.
There you go.
Weather's going to feel awesome. Hey, you know what? Let's escape the heat. It's going to feel nice and comfortable, cool up there. I actually do have a couple buddies that have gone to that are like Penn State fans that went to Minnesota to watch them play. And they said that it was actually one of the best atmospheres they've ever enjoyed watching a football game.
That's what I need to know.
Yeah.
That's what I need to know. The other options were at Duke, not much of an away game.
Nah, not really.
At UVA, been to
Charlottesville's beautiful.
Yes, but I assume a lot of UNC fans have been to Charlottesville. At Florida State, good old Tallahassee.
There you go.
And at Boston College, which I guess would have been second on the list.
There you go.
But no, at Minnesota for the variety of it at least.
Something a little different.
That leaves State, NC State.
Okay.
This was a 2-horse race.
All right.
Charlotte for the Tennessee game.
All right.
Cal.
Yeah, it's Cal.
I think you got to go. You got to go out to California.
Got to go to Cal.
Catch NC State's first ACC game against the Cal Bears. Meanwhile, be on the West Coast, do West Coast things. Right? I don't know. Berkeley, there's got to be some good coffee shops at least. There's got to be something cool going on out there, right? Other than that, not a great non-conference away games and a lot of traditional ACC games for NC State as well. Like I said, I thought the answers to this were going to be really, really cool. I'd say they're solid. I don't know if they're really, really cool.
If you actually do want to go to that area, down in Santa Clara, which is where the 49ers stadium is located. So, again, it's all in that Bay Area. Apparently a great donut shop called Stan's Donuts. There you go.
See? Tailgating with donuts.
There you go. Go get some donuts while you're out there.
I just felt like California. You got
maybe a new phone.
There's got to be something tech-related, right? Go to Silicon Valley. I don't know, invest $1,000 into some app and then become a billionaire. That's how it works, right?
That's how it is. Actually, you know what? Go to Napa Valley. Go to wine country.
How far? See, I don't know. How far is that from
I mean, a lot closer than is where you're currently sitting. I can tell you that.
Yeah, make a week out of it. Go out there and make a week out of it.
Spend a whole weekend out there.
When I grew up in Hawaii, you would definitely catch that. Like if a team was coming out to Hawaii that didn't usually go out there, you would see hats and jerseys and stuff 9 days before the game because people were like, "Oh, they play out there next Saturday. Let's make a whole 8-day vacation out of it and get out there to Hawaii. So, yeah, go out to California like right after the previous week's game and just stay. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That's the 99 questions about the college football season. We were talking road trips today.
Hey, it's just north of San Francisco. Yeah, go on out there.
Yeah, make it happen, Captain.
Yeah, you're fine.
I'm so bad with geography. Everything in California to me is like kind of 2 hours away from each other. Everything. One of my favorite lists of the year came out today. Right? Everybody has their favorite lists. There's the rankings, right? Maybe you're a big college football playoff rankings. Maybe you're a big watch list. You love to know who's on the Heisman watch list. I don't know, Oscar nominees. Maybe my favorite list of the year, and it's come out for 20 years now, is the Freaks list. It's on The Athletic now. The Athletic's College Football Freaks list. It lists the best athletes in college football. And when we say athletes, we mean like raw athletic tools.
Like physical athleticism.
We're not necessarily best football players. This isn't like a Heisman list. These are big, tall, strong, fast, jump high, talented in other sports. These are athletes. I said this earlier, but it feels kind of Olympics-y, like kind of decathlon, where it's like, I don't know if the guy that runs the decathlon can, or wins the decathlon, can even like catch a ball if you throw it at him. I have no clue. I have no clue if you put him in tag with a bunch of middle schoolers if he'll be able to keep away with agility. But I do know he's fast, he's in shape, he can throw, he can jump, he can vault, he can do like, all of the just core athleticism things. So, without further ado, I have the first of all, first on the list, you're not going to like this, Dennis. Nick Harbor, South Carolina wide receiver.
Nope.
I'm just going to read one sentence for you.
Okay.
He is 6'5".
All right.
242 pounds.
Goodness. He's a wide receiver?
He is a sophomore wide receiver that ran a 10-100 to be a freshman All-American for the South Carolina track team, where he was routinely running against guys that were 70 and 80 pounds lighter than him.
I'm sorry, he's 6'5", 242, and he ran a 10-1 in the 100.
10-1.
Okay, Noah Lyles just ran won a gold at 9.79.
Yep. So he's essentially 0.3 of a second slower than the fastest man in the world, and he is 6'5", 242 pounds. He is number one on the Athletics Freaks list.
Go routes all day. That's all it is. I'm bigger than you, and I'm going to run faster than you. Just chuck it up. I'll go get it.
He also kept up that
play.
pace.
I could coach that offense.
And ran a 20.2 in the 200. This dude is unreal.
What lab did they build him?
And maybe I'm the only one saying this, but I kind of want him to play defensive end.
Nah.
Put on another 10 pounds and just explode into the chest of offensive linemen.
Guy should play safety.
6'5", 242.
Good Lord, that's a
10-100. That's as crazy of an athletic specimen as I've ever heard of.
That's bigger than Luke Kuechly. Luke Kuechly paid at like 235.
And that's a track 10-1.
Yeah.
That's not my football coach has held the stopwatch. That is like he ran it in an SEC meet 10-1. That's legit. So anyway, that's the last time I'm going to mention anyone from outside the state of North Carolina.
Goodness.
I just wanted to have that moment. Davin Vann, NC State defensive end.
Yeah, I saw he was on the list.
Number 6 on the list.
Okay.
He jumped 34 spots from last season. He was number 40 last year. All he's done is drop a 10th off his 40 time, so now he's running under 4.7. He put another 35 pounds on his bench, so now he's benching 445. He did 31 reps at 225 on the bench, cleaned 365, squatted 580, and he's got a 33-inch vert.
Strength coaches out there are just
first
they're steamed up right now hearing those numbers. Let's call it what it is.
There's going to be a lot of that on this list.
Yeah.
Tony Gibson, I think you found your next headliner, right? I understand. I understand Peyton Wilson was great and you can't replace that guy, but that's a physical beast on the defensive line. Get him into one-on-ones, move him around, right? Now we get into the what I call the, wow, that team has a guy on the list. Number 35 best athlete in the country comes from East Carolina.
All right.
Siobhan Revel Jr. He is 6'3", 190. He's a corner. He runs a 4.440 and jumped 11 feet during camp. As a high schooler, ran a 6.9 in the 55-meter dash. I don't know if that's fast in the 55, but I do know that if they put it in this list, it probably blows your mind.
Probably fast.
Basically, scouts told The Athletic they're very surprised that Revel is still with ECU and that the Power 4 conferences didn't do absolutely everything possible to get him into the transfer portal and out of Greenville. So shout out to ECU for somehow keeping a guy who at 6'3", 190 is pretty much an NFL corner that's just going to be playing for ECU this year, at least athletically. The 45th best athlete, where does he? App State. The 45th best athlete in the country. Defensive lineman Santana Hopper, who was a freshman All-American last year. Not a single defensive tackle in college football anywhere. The freak show athletes that get recruited by Georgia and Bama and Clemson, not a single defensive tackle in college football was clocked faster than 18.7 miles per hour last year. Hopper, the only one above 18.7, was clocked at 20 miles per hour.
Okay.
Flying. And the funniest part is he runs a 4.740, squats 655, all this. Coaches say he's still growing and developing.
Huh.
Can you imagine being
he's like 19 years old.
He's the 45th best athlete in all of college football, and his coaches are going like, yeah, he might grow a couple inches. Still got to get the baby fat off him. Duke has number 65, Nick Morris Jr., linebacker. Only started 5 games last year, but 21.73 on the GPS at 6'3", 237. Dude is flying. Elon with number 82. The Phoenix. Chandler Brayboy, a wide receiver, 6'1", 200 pounds, 44-inch vert, 22 miles on the GPS, miles per hour. 105 yards last year against Wake. Flies. And then Wake Forest, the last North Carolina college represented, has Kevin Pointer, one of their defensive tackles, number 85 on the list.
There you go.
I just like saying this. He squats 745 pounds.
That's a lot.
And it is nice of you to ask, Dennis. Yes, Delaware is represented. The Blue Hens, number 88, Marcus Yarns, the running back, 22.9 miles per hour top speed. Had a 66-yard touchdown run against Penn State last year.
Oh, good for him.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad you asked, so I got to name drop the Delaware Blue Hens. Thank you for setting me up.
Absolutely.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Listen to 99.9 The Fan for coverage of the summer games from France. Here's the current medal count presented by North Carolina FC. The United States, technically in a tie for most golds with the People's Republic of China, 22 apiece.
Oh, update that, sir.
However, the tiebreaker has to be total medals, right?
Well, no, actually, U.S. is now up to 23. We literally just won a gold medal in the 200 in the women's.
What was it, Gabby Thomas?
Yeah, she literally just won. And we also took a bronze in the event, too.
Let's go. Oh, yeah. Well, we just got 2 more medals there.
So, yeah, I think actually
23. We're up to 23.
Exactly. So we're at 23 now.
23 medals.
Set a world
23
record.
Gold medals. She set the world record?
I believe she did. Previous world record was 21.34. Actually, yeah. Oh, and actually, she did not beat it, but
okay. But she got the gold medal.
She got gold medal.
That's what matters.
And we got a bronze in that too. Let's go.
So we are up to 85 total medals, meaning the United States. 23 gold. That puts us ahead of China with 22 golds and 58 total medals. Next most in gold is still Australia, who's slowed down considerably since the swimming events have ended. They have 14. But the United States is now ahead with quite a few likelies coming our way.
Well, spoiler alert, earmuffs. If you watch the U.S. women's national soccer team play against Germany today, they won 1-0 in extra time. Sophia Smith with the goal. So they're playing in the gold medal match on Saturday. So we're at least getting a minimum of silver.
We like men's and women's basketball's chances.
Absolutely.
Like Noah Lyles in the 200's chances.
100%.
Like Grant Holloway in the 110-meter hurdles chances.
Yep.
Like Sydney McLaughlin-Lavroni's chances in the 400-meter hurdles. There's a lot more that we should get at least most of. So we have taken the lead officially in gold medals from China, and now we just need to keep up the pace to hold it all the way to the end.
We're running the Olympics.
Summer Games updates on 99.9 The Fan are brought to you by North Carolina FC. Get your tickets today at northcarolinafc.com. There should be a gold medal for most gold medals.
Oh, yeah, easily.
Like, if you have the most gold medals, you get an additional gold. That, I don't know, you keep it like your U.S. Olympic Committee, like, offices. I'm just throwing that out there.
The USOC just holds on to it? Just most golds?
Exactly. It's like a rivalry trophy in college football, where you keep it until the next Olympics, and then you have to give it to someone else. It's a big gold medal. It's like a saucer.
Do we have like a separate one for the Winter Games?
Sure. Why not?
Why not? If you're going to do it for the summer, let's do it for the winter.
Yeah. And that one is, I was going to say maybe you'd use the same, and you'd have to pass it off.
Like every 2 years? Okay, I like it. I'm for this. Like Paul Bunyan's axe.
Yeah, exactly.
Wisconsin versus Minnesota.
Have to be something more global, but yeah.
The victory bell.
Yeah,
we have
like
here
that.
with
the one that they're ringing after winning in the track and field. Yeah.
Well, no, like UNC Duke.
Oh, I mean, there's a lot locally, but there is a bell that they're ringing in track and field in Paris.
Oh, really?
Noah Lyles, he rang the heck out of it after
hammering that thing.
That 100 meter. Can I just make? I have a few changes that I think the Olympics should make.
Okay.
The repechage.
What?
Repechage. I looked up how to pronounce it. It's hard to say. Dumbest thing ever. I don't know if you've paid attention to this.
I don't even know what that is.
If there's like these track and field events, if you don't make it out of the semifinals like auto qualifier, they just get together like a whole bunch of the next, and they run an extra race to see who else makes the semifinals. It's like a last chance, like you can run your way back in. If you don't qualify, you get to try to qualify again.
So I know they take the top 3 from each heat, moves on to the next round.
And then it used to be like the top 3 and then the next 2 fastest times.
Mm-hmm.
It's no longer that. It's like the top 3 and then the winners of the repechage.
Okay.
It's the Olympics. It's about the pressure. You run in the quarterfinals or the heats. If you don't perform in the heat, sorry. Like somebody else did. That's part of it. You don't get to like regroup and try again, right? It's I'm telling you, look up what the repechage, and I think I'm saying it worse each time I say it. Look up like the rules behind it, and you're going to go, wait a second, this feels like double elimination. This doesn't feel correct. It's the Olympics. You get one shot. It's like the beginning of an Eminem song. You're going to lose yourself in the music, the moments. You own it. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Let's get out of that before I go too far down the Eminem lyrics rabbit hole.
B rabbit hole.
Hey, see what you did there. Let's talk Window Nation. Tim Donnelly here for Window Nation. Yeah, give yourself the rim shot. There you go. Tim Donnelly here for Window Nation, where they are celebrating the month of August with a special deal for you. Buy 2 windows, get 2 free, plus pay nothing with no interest for 2 full years, plus an additional $250 credit. And here's the best part. I always say that. There's a billion best parts about Window Nation. Here's one of the best parts. It's a great deal. Maybe piqued your interest. Give them a call. Set up a free, no-obligation consultation, and it truly is no obligation. You don't have to buy anything. They'll come to your house. They'll look at your windows, and they're trustworthy. Justin came into my house to give us the presentation. And one of the things that I really respect about a company like Window Nation is they're honest with you, right? They'll look at your window and go, no, this one's actually in pretty good shape, right? No, this one will last a little bit longer. Maybe we start upstairs because those are looking rough, but the ones downstairs, they're good. You don't need to replace them. That is so comforting, right? Because I come from, I don't know, maybe I'm a skeptic, a cynic. I think when people are trying to sell you something, they'll look at a brand new window and go, it needs to be replaced. It's not how they work, right? That's how anytime I get my car looked at, I assume they're just going like, nope, you need everything replaced, even if it's brand new, just because I can't tell them they're wrong. The Window Nation guys, whether it's Justin or any of the others that'll come through and give you the presentation, they'll let you know what you need and what you don't need, which is just so comforting. Again, buy 2 windows, get 2 windows free, plus pay nothing with no interest for 2 full years, plus an additional $250 credit as they celebrate the month of August. Give them a call to set up your no-obligation consultation, 866-90-NATION. That's 866-90-NATION. Or you can visit them online at windownation.com. That's windownation.com. Football at 4 is coming up next with a question about hype in training camp. Stick around.
Move your sports day forward.
It's over. Gymnastics is done. No more pommeling. No more flips named after them. That would be kind of cool, though. I mean, that's kind of, is that the equivalent, Graham, of you getting a sandwich named after you in Kinston? Like
at the beach house?
If I went to the beach house and wanted to order the Graham, would that be the equivalent?
The Graham ham sandwich.
Get set up. Join Next Up with Paul Ihander. Mornings at 9 on 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
This is Gordon Miller from Miller Lending in Cary. Date the rate, marry the house. A phrase often used by realtors to describe the difference between keeping your new forever home as opposed to your mortgage rate, which you'll only keep until something better comes along, kind of like speed dating. A recent study by the Wall Street Journal further supports this notion by finding the average life of a loan to be less than 4 years. Their suggestion? Find a no-fee loan, which is exactly what Miller Lending has been telling you since 1996. With no closing costs of any kind, you can simply close on today's rates and refinance each time something better comes along. So while builders promote buy-downs with over $10,000 in closing costs, or lenders advertise crazy low rates with even more, Miller Lending continues to be the leader in the no-cost mortgage. So before you throw away thousands of needless fees, pick up the phone and call your local neighborhood lender, Miller Lending in Cary, 919-447-3377, or simply apply online at millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, NMLS number 250-2146.
See if you're a winner every night. Watch live lottery drawings on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. That's right, Carolina Pick 3, Carolina Pick 4, and Carolina Cash 5 numbers every night on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news. See if you're a winner before you go off to bed. Get your lottery numbers live every night.
North Carolina Education Lottery.
Only on WRAL-TV's 11 o'clock news.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
If Heineken Silver was a 60-second radio ad, it'd tell you all the stuff you need to know in only 30 seconds to keep things light and refreshing. Seriously, time me. Heineken Silver, a world-class light beer that's surprisingly crisp and refreshing, made with only premium quality ingredients and just 2.9 grams of carbs and 95 calories, all without compromising on taste. Heineken Silver, all the taste, no bitter endings. Order now at Heineken.com/silver. Must be 21 and older to purchase. Enjoy Heineken responsibly. Whew, 30 seconds, that's it. Done. Peace.
This hour of buzzer-beating, nail-biting, edge-of-your-seat sports action on 99.9 The Fan is powered by
Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
Visit GotBryan.com.
That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
I'm WRAL meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner. Heavy rain beginning today as we start to see the first outer bands of rain from Debbie moving into the area. We have a flood watch that's in effect through Friday and the potential to see some very heavy rain. Charleston's already seen over a foot of rain. So that is headed our way, along with some gusty winds, especially on Friday. The best way to stay safe is to not drive your car through a flooded road, and stay tuned here for more updates.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb and Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 4 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones is up 293 points today to 38,996. Market update brought to you by The Good Feet Store. Ready to step into a healthy and active lifestyle? Come to The Good Feet Store and experience the difference. Discover how a simple step can lead to a life of pain-free possibilities.
Let's move the chains. Time for Football at 4.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Football at 4, looking at Panthers training camp. If you pay attention to the coverage of Panthers training camp, as I'm sure many of you do, there have been some very drastic improvements made by some players. Some players who have maybe been the object of ridicule by Panthers fans the last 2 or 3 years. Is that a good thing? Because you got to worry about why somebody looks like they're having a breakout in training camp. If I would have told you last year, or like especially early this offseason, that the list of great performers at training camp or breakout performers at training camp would include Jonathan Mingo, Terrace Marshall Jr., and Miles Sanders, what would your reaction be? Because if you go back to last year, and we have the receipts, right? We have the YouTube comments, we have the Twitter replies of how the fan base was not super stoked that Jonathan Mingo wasn't performing, or was not super stoked with the way Miles Sanders wasn't living up to his free agency contract. And Terrace Marshall Jr. has been the object of some stink eyes for quite some time in Carolina, especially because it seems like every one of his college teammates has gone on to become an NFL star. Which actually, by the way, Caleb Von Chassan was probably one of his college teammates, so maybe they just need to get back together in the same locker room. Here's why I'm asking this question of, like, should you be excited or worried that those 3 guys keep being mentioned as making big plays, as sparking the offense in training camp? Did Jonathan Mingo or Terrace Marshall, Jonathan Mingo for 1 year, Terrace Marshall for 3, show you much in the NFL? We haven't gotten a big, wide array of flashes of greatness from them, right?
I know a couple of years ago, Terrace Marshall Jr. was actually one of the higher rated on deep balls in the NFL.
All
so
right.
but that was also like the Baker Mayfield, Sam Darnold year, Matt Rule stink.
Yeah, you get real specific with some stats, they might.
But
pop
like
a little bit.
specifically on deep balls, he was actually one of the higher rated ones.
Bryce, actually, I'll read some tweets here just to kind of build up that, because there are some that really enjoy them. Mike K, Charlotte Observer, beat reporter, covers the Panthers. These are 2 tweets that he tweeted out today. Bryce Young rolls out to the right and throws on the run to a streaking Terrace Marshall in the end zone for a pretty impressive touchdown in red zone 11-on-11. Would say Marshall has the win back because he had got the wind knocked out of him earlier on. Another tweet from Mike K. Jonathan Mingo looks like a completely different player from an outside route running perspective this summer. Made a nice double move for a touchdown in 1-on-1 on red zone. There's just a lot of that going on. There's a lot of, hey, great play by Mingo. Hey, great play by Marshall. Hey, big catch made. Hey, great route run. There's 2 ways this ends up happening. One way is they've both taken massive steps. They've developed their game. The new coaches, whatever messages they're preaching, are landing home, and these 2 players are much better than they were last year. The other would be the defense is playing a quality of defense that is allowing them to have success despite the fact that they're players that haven't had success in the NFL level. Which do you think it is? Right?
I'll go with the former.
You hope so.
I mean, they're second-round picks for a reason. Like you
definitely.
They're second-round picks for a reason. Like, to me, it's like, okay, this is what you should naturally be progressing from. This case, Jonathan Mingo from year 1 to year 2, or Terrace Marshall finally showing something in year 4.
That's the hard part for me. If it was just Mingo, then it makes a lot of sense. Sophomore jump, right? Last year was overwhelmed. All of the excuses we give to Bryce Young, we should give to Jonathan Mingo. So if he's suddenly playing much better, that makes sense. It's the Terrace Marshall that's making me have a hard time. Usually by 3 years in the NFL, you know what a player is. So the fact that he's also making more plays almost makes me question the Mingo plays. Well, if Terrace Marshall can do it, then... Right? I think about it like this. If I'm losing a race to someone that I've known to be slow for the last 3 years, it's probably smart to explore all options and possibilities before assuming that the person I've known to be slow for the last 3 years has suddenly become very fast. And one of those options I should investigate is if I've gotten much slower. Right? So if Terrace Marshall hasn't been a super effective wide receiver for 3 years, now suddenly he's a playmaker. Before I assume, hey, that guy's just made a massive jump, I should look into the defense that is stopping him or not stopping him and make sure that isn't the reason why he's making the plays. Same might be said for Miles Sanders being a breakout. Miles Sanders, by all accounts, has been one of the most intense, hard-running, physical running backs in camp. Maybe the most intense, hard-running, physical running back in camp. I've watched a lot of Miles Sanders. I don't recall him ever being a tank. Been big playback. I've seen him rip off 40-plus yard runs. I've seen him catch out of the backfield. I'm not saying he hasn't been effective. I'm saying never been top 15 in the league in broken tackles. Very rarely in the top 15 in any broken tackle metric, right? Broken tackles per carry, broken like that, those sorts of things. Very few running backs suddenly become like a bully physical running back after a bunch of injuries at age 27. Is the defense not being physical enough? This is the gift and the curse of training camp, right? And I've said it a few times throughout the week, or throughout the last week and a half, whatever it's been. Every time the offense makes a play, the defensive coordinator's mad. Every time the defense makes a play, the offensive coordinator's mad, right? There's everything is a give and a take, unless it is a situation like I've seen it and heard it has been with J.C. Horn and Deontay Johnson, where it does feel like every time they match up, it's just high-quality football.
Oh, yeah.
And sometimes Deontay Johnson wins. Sometimes J.C. Horn wins. Like, if it's that style, love it. But you also have to ask the reverse questions, right? Mm-hmm. Like, if J.C. Horn is sometimes beating Deontay Johnson is sometimes beating J.C. Horn, it's nice to know that they're both really good players because they have been really good players for the past however long, right? You're not worried about Deontay Johnson losing some of those reps because you're like, no, J.C. Horn, he beats number one wide receiver sometimes. Like, he's that good. Now, if J.C. Horn were suddenly getting beat by Terrace Marshall Jr., I probably wouldn't expect Terrace Marshall Jr. Oh, he's a number one wide receiver. You know, he does that quite a bit.
Yeah, if he gets you once, okay.
Yes,
you got him once.
But if it becomes that back and forth, I'd be more worried about J.C. Horn than I would be Terrace Marshall Jr. being better.
I think it's also, we talked about reasons versus excuses for Bryce Young.
Mm-hmm.
So you look at Terrace Marshall Jr. When he got drafted in 2021, Matt Rule's the head coach, and that's when they tried to go with Sam Darnold. Things didn't quite work out overall with that situation. Then his next year, Rule gets fired. There's Baker Mayfield. Then there's Sam Darnold. There's P.J. Walker. Who else played at quarterback? And then last year was the Frank Reich situation, which was all know was a complete and total disaster. And then so maybe he's just in the right circumstance. Like sometimes that's just a simple reality.
100% a possibility.
So yeah, I mean for me, it's again he was a second-round pick for a reason. Maybe he's finally in a situation where he can be up to his potential.
If Terrace Marshall Jr. suddenly this year plays like what many thought his potential was coming out of college,
then awesome.
Watch the heck out. Then all of a sudden you start looking at and if Mingo does the same,
5 wide, let's go.
I mean that suddenly Deontay Johnson, Adam Thielen becomes a mentor. Then it's suddenly Adam Thielen is out there just passing on words of wisdom and playing 20 snaps a game because the physical ability of those two other guys is just going to trump that. That's just That is one of the things that I will be ecstatic that, I can't believe I questioned it back in training camp. Like, oh, what a fool am I. I will love it. But until it's one of those I'll believe it when I see it style things.
If they disappear on game day, then it's like, okay, then
I'm worried about the defense.
Camp. Cool.
Then I'm worried about the defense. And I'm going, these were the guys that were crushing the defense? Uh-oh.
Well, we had questions about the defensive backs going into this season anyway.
Quite a bit of
that we did.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. That voice you just heard was Dennis Cox. Here it is again.
Dennis Cox here for my good friends over at Law Tigers. Here's something I want you to do if you're a motorcycle rider or maybe looking to buy one for the first time. I need you to go to lawtigers.com. Again, lawtigers.com. They have a free rider benefit kit. Free. That's right. I want to say it again. Free rider benefit kit, which is for you. Go online, lawtigers.com. Check out all that the rider benefit kit brings to you, what it adds to you, because if you ever are injured in a motorcycle accident, it's good to have people like Law Tigers back you up, because Law Tigers, they're part of that motorcycle riding community, just like me. I ride a motorcycle, obviously not in weather conditions like this. Be smart out there, folks. But it's nice to know that there are people in your community that have your back in case something goes wrong. And again, that's where Law Tigers comes in. If you are ever injured in a motorcycle accident, contact Law Tigers before you call your insurance company. Just give them a call, 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, because insurance companies, they want to pay the least amount of money possible. Law Tigers, they have your back. Like I said, they're riders too. They know what your bike is worth, they know what your gear is worth, and they know what you're going through after you've been in an accident. And your case evaluation with Law Tigers is always free, and they do not get paid until your case settles. So again, call the people that have your back. Call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, hits some cop or drop action. What are we copping? What are we dropping? Stick around.
You heard the perfect scores on air.
Just before the buzzer, that's 5 for 5.
We're bringing those champions to the stage. It's our inaugural Numbers Game Live show, presented by Sharky's Place Sports Bar and Grill. Our invitation-only event brings past players together August 21st at the Hilton Raleigh North Hills. Join us on YouTube as we crown a Numbers Game champ. Special thanks to On-Site Audio Visual, supplying the sights and sounds of the Numbers Game Live.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? You might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
How was everyone's first day at the North Carolina Education Lottery Winners Club?
Oh, me? I set the high score in mini golf.
I tried a new food called wasabi.
Oh, I did absolutely nothing. It was amazing.
There's no wrong way to be a winner. New $50,000 payout and $1 million cash word are here. The Winners Club awaits. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds of winning range from 1 in 3.54 to 3.58. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
The best things in life, they come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as Big Wireless, now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in twos. Visit consumercellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by September 2nd, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
This is the story of the one. As head of maintenance at a concert hall, he knows the show must always go on. That's why he works behind the scenes, ensuring every light is working, the HVAC is humming, and his facility shines. With Grainger's supplies and solutions for every challenge he faces, plus 24/7 customer support, his venue never misses a beat. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Mortgage rates have plummeted, and Loan Pronto clients are locking in the lowest rates we've seen in years. Hey, it's Roger Moore, founder and CEO of Loan Pronto. It's happening. We are finally locking APRs in the 5s, something we haven't seen for a long time. If that sky-high rate is killing you or you need to get cash out of your home equity, now is the time to take action. Or listen, even if you want to keep that first mortgage rate intact, you can take advantage of lower rates with our Equity Express line of credit. We're seeing homeowners take 50, 75, 200 grand or more out of their equity and wiping out that high interest debt with an average savings of $850 per month. Bottom line, your home value is way up and mortgage rates have come way down, making this a great time to act. Call today for a 30-second rate quote. Do it now, and you can even skip your next 2 mortgage payments. 919-381-1760. 919-381-1760. LoanPronto.com. 919-381-1760.
Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval. NMLS consumeraccess.org.
Westwood One Sports presents this special update on the 2024 Summer Games, sponsored by Westin Hotels and Resorts. Find wellness at Westin. The U.S. men's basketball team is underway in their quarterfinal matchup with Brazil. Right now with 6.5 to go in the second quarter, the U.S. is on top, 40-21. Gabby Thomas of the U.S. took home gold in the women's 200 meters with a time of 21.83. Her teammate Brittany Brown finished third for the bronze. American Annette Echekwoke won silver in her first Summer Games appearance in the women's hammer throw. Canada's Cameron Rogers, who was a 3-time NCAA champion at Cal, won the gold. U.S. women's soccer team advanced to the gold medal match with a 1-0 extra time win over Germany. Sophia Smith's third goal of the games was the difference for the U.S. The Americans will face either Spain or Brazil on Saturday. And the women's water polo team is on to the semifinals after a 5-4 win over Hungary. With this Summer Games update, I'm Ryan Radke, Westwood One Sports.
Wellness means something different to each of us. And at Westin Hotels and Resorts, we believe every step is an opportunity to enhance your well-being. Whether it's guided group runs and workout gear on demand, or nourishing food options and restorative rest in our heavenly bed, when you travel, you can find wellness at Westin, one of 30 hotel brands in the Marriott Bonvoy portfolio. Find wellness at Westin.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Paris Summer Games updates on 99.9 The Fan are brought to you by North Carolina FC. Get your tickets today at northcarolinafc.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Dennis, you angry coming out of break?
A lot of wrestling theme music today.
Oh, okay.
So this is Batista.
Gotcha.
Played CM Punk earlier.
Speaking
Played
of
the Four Horsemen.
Chris Statlander, professional wrestler, is going to be joining the show. You talked to her earlier today.
That I did. All Elite Wrestling out in Winston-Salem tomorrow.
About 10 minutes from now, you'll hear that conversation. Right now, you don't have to wait. You don't have to wait 10 minutes. Mm-hmm. You can text UNC, just those 3 letters, UNC, to 919-860-5326. And if you do that, you'll be entered to win a pair of tickets to see UNC versus UNC Charlotte football at Kenan Stadium on September 7th. We're giving away football tickets.
That time of year, folks.
You got to text UNC to 919-860-5326 for your chance to win. Now, let's cop or drop. Dennis throws everything he can at me, and I say whether I'm copping or dropping. Dennis, what do you got?
All right, we talked earlier about Bryce Young not playing on Thursday in the preseason opener for the Carolina Panthers on the road at the New England Patriots. Cop or drop, Bryce Young will play in the last 2 preseason games.
Gosh, he better. Copping. I'm hoping the reason he's not playing in Thursday's game is because maybe Damian Lewis, his shoulder, maybe
I think Chandler Zavala might start, which we saw him be a turnstile last year for the Panthers.
And with maybe they're expecting Tommy Tremble back for the second game, so maybe Xavier Legette maybe back for the second game. Like, if they're holding him back because there's a lot of injuries around him and it's like, why get him reps with the second team? I might be okay with that. So I'm hoping that's the reason, which means he will have to play in game 2. Game 3, all depends on how game 2 goes. But yeah, the guy should be playing. The guy should be playing. So yes, copying him playing in game number 2.
I feel great about playing football right now.
Yes, you do.
Speaking of Thursday, Copper dropped Deontay Johnson, Adam Thielen playing on Thursday.
Dropping both. Mm-hmm. If Bryce isn't playing,
there's no reason.
Don't throw the proven guys out there.
Yeah.
If you've had 100 catches in an NFL season, I don't need you out there with Jack Plummer. No disrespect to Jack Plummer, but he has 0 completions in the NFL. So if you have more than 100 catches in a single season, there's no reason for you to be out there. That's Deontay Johnson. That's Adam Thielen. If you wanted to hold out the Robert Hunts, the regardless of health, Damian Lewis, Taylor Moton, I'm fine with that, right? As soon as Bryce isn't out there, I don't think you need the proven veterans out there. If Bryce is out there, you need to play the proven veterans to help protect Bryce. But without that, I think you can let the second unit rock.
All right, next one up here. Thursday, Panthers defensive starters will play Thursday in the preseason game against the Patriots. Copper drop.
I honestly, I don't know. I'm trying to think back to last year if the starters are playing.
They did.
Yeah, I think that's probably an.
That was at that first preseason game. They played the first 2 series. Bryce Young played the first 2 series for offense. Yep. Bryce played the first 2 series in each of those games.
Obviously, offensively, that was a completely different brain trust playing him last year to this year. But defensively, they have the same brain trust. So it's probably an Evero decision. I assume Canales is the guy making the final decision on offense, and he defers quite a bit to the defensive coordinator, Evero. The defensive coordinator is what I meant to say. So, yeah, I think they'll play a series or 2, right?
Maybe.
Just to get out there, just to see how it feels, I guess. And they got some new bodies. They got some, Jordan Fuller back into an Evero system. Ashawn Robinson back into an Evero system. So, get him out there and feeling loose.
I was wondering, I was actually probably going to drop this just for the fact that Robinson, he's a vet. He's 29 years old. Derek Brown's got paid a ton of money. Clowney's making a bunch of money. Now, DJ Johnson, who's listed number 1 on the depth chart right now, Caleb Von Jason, like those guys are going to play,
Yeah, and
they need the reps.
I think part of that, like, I don't consider DJ Johnson a true 1.
I think he is right now.
He's listed as number 1 on the depth chart. I think part of that is because Wanham.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to just give the starting job to one of the new guys who hasn't practiced at all. But I think when they put together this roster in the offseason, the plan was for DJ Wanham to be the starting edge opposite of Jadeveon Clowney. So, I kind of consider DJ Johnson a 2 that still needs the reps. If Wanham was healthy and he wasn't playing, I might understand that because he's more veteran. But yeah, I guess they play. I'm just going to go off of last year. I guess they play.
All right, speaking of Thursday, let's go to the other side. Go to the other sideline. New England Patriots. Copper drop that Drake May will have a new wide receiver and Brandon Ayuk in the next 2 weeks.
I'm dropping.
Oh, really? Okay.
I don't know if we'll get to this today, so I'll spill some of it now.
Yeah, I brought it up today because I knew you would love it.
I think this is a Jedi mind trick by the Niners.
Oh.
I think Brandon Ayuk wants the Steelers or Washington. So the Niners have made it very obvious that the Steelers and Washington don't have what they want in a trade. But what they have done is said the Patriots and the Browns, we've agreed to a deal, a trade that makes sense. So all you have to do is negotiate your contract extension and bada boom, bada bang, the deal will happen. This way Ayuk will go to them, find out what his market value is, right? Like, all right, we'll sign you to a 30-year extension or $30 million extension, whatever it is. He's going to go back to the Niners, and I think the Niners go, hey, we'll match that. And then Ayuk will go, well, you're better than Cleveland. So,
yeah.
All right. You guys are more accomplished than the Patriots. So sure. It's just a way for them to use the market to set the price for a player who maybe has overinflated their value a little bit. And then just go, all right, well, if that's what you're going to go over there and make, why don't we just give it to you? I think it's a little Jedi mind trick by the Niners. So, no, I don't think he ends up with the Patriots. I think he stays in San Fran.
I did see that part of that to possibly, with the Cleveland Browns, possibly getting Brandon Ayuk, in order to make it fit under a salary cap, they probably have to trade Amari Cooper. Which, if I'm in San Francisco, I'm like, I can get a guy for the next 2 years. If I'm in win now, especially with George Kittle's 30+, like Christian McCaffrey's probably got, 2 good years left on the legs. Same with Trent Williams. You know what? All right, Amari Cooper for the next 2 years, then I can kind of rebuild a little bit and retool.
Unless you think Ayuk is just better than Amari Cooper.
True. Amari Cooper is still great.
Yeah, I think Brandon Ayuk at this point in their careers is the better player.
Probably.
But you're probably getting a pick or something back because of the youth as well.
Mm-hmm.
So it depends what the add-on is. It's Brandon Ayuk for Amari Cooper plus what? And that what is what I will decide if I like the deal or not on.
All right, next one up here. Let's go to college football. I know we're going to talk a little bit of NC State later today. NC State football will be 3-1 after their first 4 games of the season. Cop or drop?
I'm sorry, say it again. I was reading I don't know if this is true. 49ers Sports Talk. They must have heard us. They got 33,000 followers.
Okay.
Said on NFL Network, Christian McCaffrey called Brandon Ayuk a former teammate, then quickly corrected himself.
That's funny.
So maybe he is on the way out.
Freud was right.
Yep.
All right. So again, cop or drop. NC State football will be 3-1 after their first 4 games this season.
So that would be, I assume, beating either Tennessee or Clemson and losing to the other. You're not baking in like a Western Carolina upset followed by 2 massive victories.
Yeah, exactly.
I think 3-1 is fair. I think that's probably like the smart money is 3-1.
It's very realistic.
Yes. I think obviously State fans are going to be going 4-0, baby. We're heading into the top 10.
We'll hear from State fans and feedback frenzy here coming up.
Which is what fans should be saying. But yeah, I think 3-1 is a fair. I'll cop that.
Okay. Next one up here. Pitbull bought the rights to FIU's football stadium. I don't know if you saw this. Florida International. Pitbull. That's right. The artist.
Pitbull Stadium, right?
Pitbull bought the
Mr.
naming
305.
rights. Copper drop. We're actually going to see the stadiums here in the Triangle naming rights be sold in the next 5 years.
I think naming rights might be sold.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll be sold to
Not necessarily
international pop stars.
Yeah, it's like a J. Cole Stadium here at NC State
Eric
or something
Church
like that.
Stadium on UNC.
Hey, Scotty McCreery at
Yeah, there we go.
Luke Combs at Keenan.
Luke Combs would be App State.
Oh no, he's a Carolina guy too. Don't get me wrong.
He went to App State though, didn't he?
Yeah, no, but he's also a Carolina guy.
Both.
Yeah.
Luke Stadium, Combs Stadium. Duke, I looked it up earlier today.
Cooper Flag Stadium, Wallace Wade.
Duke would be Mike Posner.
Okay.
Which is the cooler than me guy, or a frat rapper named Mike Stud, are the famous musicians that went to Duke, and like classical artists, but I don't know how much money they're raking in. Yeah, I mean, I've said this before. I'm going to say it 1,000 times, so I'm copying it. Schools, programs have to operate as if money matters now because they used to just ask boosters for it and get it. Now they need to go out and make it, and NBA. All of those stadiums are named. It's a passive way to make a bunch of money that you can then turn into coaching salaries or facilities or anything else because the booster money has to go to the players by way of NIL to be competitive. So yeah, you're gonna have all that. Copping it. Cop or drop, there it is here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly on 99.9 The Fan. At the beginning of this segment, we did tease a conversation between our very own Dennis Cox and Chris Statlander, professional wrestler. Dennis, what event is this ahead of?
So AEW Dynamite, their weekly show, which airs on TBS, is going to be out at the Joel, Wake Forest University in Winston-Salem tomorrow.
There you go. So ahead of that,
I will be there.
Oh, will you be?
Oh yeah.
Could not have predicted that one.
No.
So
Never saw it coming.
ahead of that event in the Joel, Chris Statlander caught up with our very own Dennis Cox. Here's that conversation.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, Dennis Cox sitting in here with you all this afternoon, being joined by the Heister Automotive Group hotline by Chris Statlander, All Elite Wrestling, former TBS champion of AEW. All right, Chris, I know AEW is going to be in Winston-Salem tomorrow at the Joel, Wake Forest University on the Annex, but the internet tells me right, tomorrow's your birthday, correct?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so we are officially celebrating your birthday during this interview. Did you know?
Yay.
All right, so the tradition, I feel like, in professional wrestling is that when it's someone's birthday, there's a cake. It's going to be on television. Should we anticipate seeing that on TV tomorrow on TBS?
No.
No?
There will be no cake smashing. I don't even want anyone to acknowledge my birthday.
Oh, okay. All right, that's totally understandable. I know you're in a feud with Willow Nightingale, so I'm sure you wouldn't mind smashing her face into a cake, I'm sure.
I mean, yeah. But I'm, trying to be good for a day,
Okay, good for a day.
Trying to not get beaten up on my birthday.
Hey, I totally respect that. I also try not to get beaten up on my birthday. I think we all can relate to that. Chris Statlander, AEW, joining us here on the Heister Automotive Group hotline. All right, you all are going to be, again, in Winston-Salem tomorrow. For those who actually can't make it to the show, I'm going to be there. You can watch on TBS AEW Dynamite at 8 o'clock. Being now in North Carolina, you live in the Charlotte area as of now. North Carolina has such a deep wrestling history. When you started getting into professional wrestling, now living in North Carolina, how much of that history have you started to try and learn and take in when it comes to perfecting your craft?
I mean, I started out in New York when I started training, so there's a whole other side of wrestling that I kind of learned on. And then when I moved down to this area, I started learning and training with some other people that are more local to the area. So I feel like I've gotten a good base of different styles and just different what different people focus on as far as their wrestling history and how they kind of base their teachings, I'd say. I've gotten a good variety of lessons from a bunch of incredible people in the business, and it's just really cool to be able to broaden your horizons and constantly keep learning.
Who are some of those influences that you've learned down since you've been in North Carolina?
I've worked with people like Lodi,
Okay.
George South. Those are just some of the names, and they've come from a long line of people that have passed down the traditional Southern style, so to say.
Yeah, because I know Adam Page, Hangman Page is trained in Greensboro. I know Griff Garrison is trained in Greensboro and throughout the area. I think even some of the guys from Private Party have even come down and trained in this area as well. So I know it's got such a deep wrestling history here in the state of North Carolina. When you actually get to wrestle in the state, I know I've actually seen you perform at GalaxyCon here in Raleigh a couple of years ago. When you actually do get to wrestle in the state, is there something a little bit extra when it comes to it? Especially because the crowd is so keen on the history that we all understand.
Yeah, I think what makes it special is that a lot of the people that are fans here, that they're almost like generational fans, if that makes sense. Where it's if you're a wrestling fan and you're from the Carolinas or just anywhere like the South, it's kind of like you grew up watching it and you pass it down, and it's just almost like how generational wrestlers are. That's kind of like what the fans are like too. So it's there's just a constant appreciation for everything that has happened and everything that continues to happen, and it's always just really nice to be oh, this is a really good place to be, especially for a show. It feels it's one of those things that always kind of feels like a homecoming, just because wrestling is so loved and appreciated.
Chris Statlander, AEW, joining us here on the Heister Automotive Group hotline. Dennis Cox sitting in here with you this afternoon. All right, Chris, I want to dive into what you have learned in your career and what you have gone through physically. A lot of people don't understand the physical toll that wrestlers go through. I believe you torn your ACL twice, if my understanding is correct.
Both of them, yeah.
Okay, so you torn both your ACLs, yet you still get in the ring and still have to be physically active and do all the things that you do. How much do you have to put off or outside of the ring in terms of training? So I don't think people really fully understand what you all go through as wrestlers to get your bodies ready to compete and be out there in the ring.
I mean, everyone kind of does what works for them. So there's no one specific rule book of how you should be training or how you should be, structuring your workouts and regimen and all that stuff. I probably go a little bit more intense than a lot of people, but I think that's just kind of in my nature because I'm just I need to constantly be doing something type person. I do not do a good job of relaxing ever. And I also just enjoy like really throwing around some heavy weights and stuff like that. And now that's translated a lot into my wrestling as well. So having to be strong in the ring, I have to make sure that I'm maintaining my strength outside of the ring. So it's just like a constant, just like, got to be on top of my game all the time. And then given the knee injuries, I'm also trying to incorporate a lot of jumping exercises and explosive movements and sprinting and stuff like that, just to make sure that I don't lose everything that I worked so hard to get back.
With AEW, you're probably not wrestling 4 or 5 times a week. Does that benefit you in the long run? You feel like it's going to help maybe give you a little bit more longevity in your career?
Probably, but at the same time, as an active wrestler, not wrestling as much, it feels like when you aren't wrestling as frequently, the times that you do wrestle, it hurts more, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like back when I was on the and I was wrestling 5 times a week, maybe, I was feeling great all the time, but I was used to it. And then it started slowing down once I got, or I started working with AEW, just because that's just how the schedule works. And I feel like coming back from injury, it's like getting in the ring as much as possible is the best thing that you could do, because it does, like, your body does form a callus to the ring in a way. And the less that you're in there, the more everything hurts.
When people come tomorrow to Winston-Salem, what can they expect? If they've never been to an AEW show before, what can people expect when they're there in person?
Well, if you're there live in person, you can expect a lot of fun, a lot of action. You're gonna have a really, really good time. It's gonna be loud, and you are gonna be a part of what makes the show better. So you kind of have to show up, because, you know, the show can't go on without you. We need you. You better be there.
Final thing to wrap up. So, wrestling in terms of having a crowd is part of the show, and like you watch it on TV, you see signs, you hear the crowd reactions and all that, but in person, like why is a crowd so vital to pro wrestling as opposed to really any other form of entertainment that we experience?
I mean, like I said, like the crowd really is a part of the show, where you interacting and being loud and cheering and booing, it gives us energy, and we feed off of that, and we need that. It also tells us that we're doing our job. Just hearing a noise from the crowd lets us know that we're doing something to make people react, and that is always a benefit. And, you know, there's just so many aspects to it. It's not just the cheering and the booing, but like you said, like there's the signs there. There's a lot of emotions that can go through someone, and it's great to have that live reaction in real time to everything that we're doing, as opposed to just being like, all right, let's read the reviews when we get home. It's like, no, you're seeing the reviews to everything that you're doing come to life right there in front of you. And it's so rewarding, especially when you're successful at it.
Once again, that was our very own Dennis Cox, who's producing the show today, and Chris Statlander, professional wrestler, AEW, coming to the area out there in Winston-Salem tomorrow night. And she will be participating in that.
Oh, she will be. Very much so.
Oh, is that one of those things where you don't know who's going to, like, show up? I don't. Like, she will be a part of it, right? That's why they're having her promote. Okay. Yeah. I didn't know if it was like, well, maybe, right? You got to wait till you hear the music drop to know. Chris Statlander, again, joining us on the Heister Automotive Group hotline. Thank you for that time. With that being said, I need to let you know about my partners over at Capital Financial. Tim Donnelly here for Capital Financial Advisory Group, and of course that includes Coach Pete. Life insurance, right? You hear about one life insurance, you hear about them all, right? The life insurance that you thought you knew, your parents' version of life insurance, it's a thing of the past. You need to call up Capital Financial Advisory Group and see what they can do to embrace the game-changing amendments to the world of life insurance and how that can help you along your path to retirement, right? Things like your life insurance could be used in the situation of long-term care, could be used in a bunch of different ways, right? Coach Pete tells me that the death benefit could pay for long-term care expenses, and here's the kicker, tax-free. It's one of the many benefits of the new generation of life insurance that Coach Pete and his fiduciary planning team at Capital Financial can walk you through to make sure you have the best policy to work for you and your financial future. What are you waiting for? Call Coach Pete and his team today. If you call right now and say you heard about it here on 99.9 The Fan from Tim, Coach Pete will walk you through and hook you up with a copy of one of his best-selling books. Be sure to tell him I sent you. Again, say Tim sent me. Give him a call, 800-691-3215. That's 800-691-3215. Or you can text my name, Tim, T-I-M, to 600-700. That's Tim to 600-700. We'll take a break. When we come back, it's time for a feedback frenzy here on The Drive with Tim Donnelly.
The Adam Gold Show.
Does the ACC need their own Paul Feinbaum? Not really. You know what the ACC really needs? They need NC State to beat Tennessee. They need North Carolina to beat Minnesota. They need Clemson to be good against Georgia. Win? I don't know, man. Georgia's a brick wall. But look the part. And Miami beat Florida. That's what the ACC needs. Win some of these games.
The Adam Gold Show, weekdays starting at noon on 99.9 The Fan.
That's a deal, yeah. I got McDonald's money. I got McDonald's money. One meal just to make me feel better. All I wanna know is, can I get her? Juicy double patty, the McNuggets so crisp, and the fries go to yellow. Yeah, McDonald's don't miss. Yeah, order the app or the drive-through quick. Yeah, $5, that's a deal, yeah. I got McDonald's money. I got McDonald's money.
Need assistance with door and window projects? The Home Depot can help. From inspiration and materials to ordering and installation, our free millwork virtual apron service can get you moving and doing. Plus, we speak Spanish too. Our associates can help you tackle complex jobs without you leaving the job site, saving you time and money. Call us at 1-833-HD-APRON or visit homedepot.com/MVA. The Home Depot. How doers get more done.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. J.D. Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store. And now, during our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. For J.D. Power 2023 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Nothing makes being outdoors better than having the right gear and the right crew. So here's an idea. Let Mountain Dew supply the gear and you bring the friends. Because when you buy specially marked multi-packs of Mountain Dew, you can collect points and earn epic limited edition outdoor gear. So buy Dew, collect points, get gear, and get outside with Mountain Dew outdoor gear.
Open to legal U.S. residents 18+. Subject to program terms at dewoutdoors.com. Ends 12/31/24. Void or prohibited.
Want a great deal on Mountain Dew? Handy Hugo's offering 2 20-ounce Mountain Dews for just $4. Do the Dew at Handy Hugo's today.
Lenny went to college and racked up huge debt.
A little bit over $100,000.
For a degree he couldn't use? Now what?
I had a friend that went to my computer career and they talked to me about it.
He was done in just months.
I did do it online.
They even helped him get hired immediately after graduation.
One of the things I love about IT is that you can work from anywhere you want.
You could become an IT pro in just months with zero experience at My Computer Career.
It worked for me and I know it can work for you.
It's not rocket science. It's mycomputercareer.edu.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Listen to 99.9 The Fan for coverage of the summer games from France. Here's the current medal count presented by North Carolina FC. The United States picked up another gold since our last update in the 1,500-meter men's race. And by all accounts, I wasn't able to watch it. By all accounts, it was an absurd race.
Okay.
They were calling it one of the races of the Olympics for two other guys from two other countries that were supposed to duel for the gold. The Americans got gold and bronze.
Yeah, they did.
Which means one of those didn't get any medal, if you math being done. But that means the United States is up to now 24 gold medals, which puts us 2 ahead of everybody else. China with 22 is next. That also gives the United States 86 total medals, which is more than everybody else by a bunch. China is closest with 58, and then France in third, total medals with 48.
So we're winning the whole thing.
We are ahead now. I did see did you see the speed walker?
No.
There was a women's speed walker. You know that little thing where it looks like you're trying to get to the toilet real quick?
Oh, yeah.
She started celebrating down the home stretch.
Uh-oh.
Got beat.
See?
She was in first, started smiling. She had like a flag that she like wrapped around her. She was like really embracing the celebration. And then there was the other speed walker, just heel toe, and passed her at the wire. So I'm not going to say we have it won. I'm going to say we're in the lead by 2 golds over China and by a whole bunch of medals total over everybody.
Like, don't drop the football.
Don't fall
before
off the
you
horse.
cross the goal line.
Fall off. Summer Games updates on 99.9 The Fan are brought to you by North Carolina FC. Get your tickets today at northcarolinafc.com. Let's jump into a feedback frenzy. What do you have for us, Dennis?
All right, let's go ahead and start things off here. We had a conversation last week about reasons versus excuses for Bryce Young going into year 2. This one comes from Ryan. I'm pulling for this guy to turn it around this year and have a Tua-type season, referring to Tua Tagovailoa, the Miami Dolphins quarterback. But if he being Bryce Young, continues to roll out of the pocket to see downfield or can't put up points, then it's time to lick our wounds and move on. Hopefully, dude lights it up this year, though.
That's interesting. I think he's more effective on the move. Maybe that's because the pocket was always collapsing.
Well, yes.
So it's like
there was no pocket.
It's hard to play from the pocket when the pocket is constantly collapsing around him. But he's been, at least in camp, he's looked very good throwing on the run. I'd try to get him on the move. I would try to play action rollout, try to get him on the move, and even maybe speed up his internal alarm clock a little bit and say, like, hey, man, if you feel pressured, don't be afraid to step up and get out of there. I appreciate you wanting to show your toughness and stand in the pocket and take the hits, but if you can get out of there, right? Let your legs help you out a little bit.
All right, this one comes from Ben. Same conversation. Got to wait for the season to start. If Bryce sucks again this year, it's over for him, and I'm okay with that. Hopefully, we will learn from it. If not, then hell yeah, let's go.
There's something to be said for if Bryce stinks this year, you might say the right thing to do is move on and say it's not his fault that it didn't work out.
Both can be true.
Where you say he was put in a terrible situation, which stunted his development, which made him waste their rookie contract, and you want to try again with someone else. But then that next part that the commenter said is important, where you say they'll learn from it. Then you have to recognize, all right, you have to have a better team in place before you go get the quarterback if you're going to draft a quarterback, right? You have to do what the Bears did for Caleb Williams, right? You have DJ Moore, then you bring in Keenan Allen, then you bring in Rome Odunze, then you build up the offensive line, then you get, what is it, DeAndre Swift at running back now up there? Is that who's up there?
I think so.
You put everything together, then you drop the quarterback in, and he's set up to have success. So there's a world where Bryce Young doesn't work out as a starting quarterback of the Panthers, and there's still Panthers fans that are going, yeah, I think Bryce was pretty good. We ruined him. Like, that's a possibility.
All right, next one. This one talking about NC State
stuff.
This one comes from Yolik. There you go. I didn't make the name. Our issue, talking about NC State, can NC State football kind of break the curse, or kind of continue on with?
Can they believe that the curse is broken by a Final Four, couple of runs, and an Omaha trip?
This one comes from Yolik. Our issue is that we always play up to opponents' level. We play great against top teams and bad against bad teams. That's why I love and hate our football team.
See, that's going back. I always thought that was the common reputation for the Tom O'Brien North Carolina State
no,
years.
it's like, gosh, look, just a few years ago, you beat Clemson at home, but you go on the road against Wake Forest and you lose.
Yeah, similar.
It
does seem like
what it is.
Dave, I guess there's individual games like that. Dave Doran just seems so consistently like 8 wins that it's like, it's hard to say any team's like, oh, they should have been a 12-win team. But it's like, they're just always 8. They're never 4. You know what I mean? They're always right there. Tom O'Brien, I mean, that always popped out to me. You'd beat like number 3 Florida State. You'd lose to UNC. Like there was always those going on. So actually, maybe it is an NC State thing. Maybe it's transversed across different coaches.
Well, this is what M. Rob had to say on the same video. Said, the saying is state going to state. Anytime something bad happens to them sports-wise, it's state going state.
There's a lot of those. There's a lot of those sayings. The thing is, like, is there a way, it's chicken or the egg. Can you stop thinking that way without winning something of significance, right? Like if you make it to the college football playoff, will you stop thinking that way? That every time you have something good, you're going to be going like, when are we going to state this away? But the flip side, like, can you win something of significance while still thinking that way? It's a logic puzzle. It's a chicken or the egg.
Mm-hmm.
That's the question. I don't know.
All right, last week we had a talk about should Cam Newton and or Luke Kuechly make it into the NFL Hall of Fame. This is all tying in with Julius Peppers going into the Hall of Fame this past weekend.
Correct.
This one comes from Caleb. Says, hot take. If it was the Football Hall of Fame and not the NFL Hall of Fame, Cam would be in my opinion. But for his professional career only, Cam is out. Luke, referring to Luke Kuechly, should be first ballot. He was arguably top 5 ever at his position and 1A, 1B with Bobby Wagner for clear number 1 of his decade.
That's interesting. Bobby Wagner's played so much longer that I almost don't think of them in the same.
Like, you're like 2010s.
Bobby Wagner's still playing.
Yeah, I know.
Luke Kuechly's going to be eligible to go into the Hall of Fame next year.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
I think Luke Kuechly's peak was significantly better than Bobby Wagner's. I think they're similar Hall of Fame candidates because Bobby Wagner's had more longevity but didn't have that same peak. I think this is what we settled on. I'm going to stick by it. I think Luke Kuechly is a Hall of Famer, but not a first ballot Hall of Famer because if he would have played 3-4 more years, I think he's first ballot. And I think Cam, yes, I mean he's already a college football Hall of Famer, I assume. If he's not, he will be. And yes, if it were like basketball where you took everything into account, he would be a first ballot Hall of Famer. We could have this conversation. Like Joe Burrow, maybe a Tebow year. Like we're talking the greatest football seasons in college football history by an individual.
Yeah.
His is on the very, very short list.
His year at Auburn was special.
And if you look at I don't think he had anyone else that started for any significant period of time in the NFL on his offense. And he was still out there just mowing people down. As you compare that to like Joe Burrow's great season in college, where he was throwing to Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Terrace Marshall Jr., Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Like there's just too many. So I'm with you. Cam as a football career Hall of Famer, that football Hall of Fame doesn't exist. It's the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So I think he's on the cusp. If Matt Ryan gets in, if Russell Wilson gets in, I think Cam Newton should get in.
Darn sure.
If they stay out, Cam Newton stays out. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. I should have put it this way. If they stay out, I'm okay with Cam Newton staying out.
Sure.
Not like he definitely will. Before we move on, here's Dennis Cox.
Hey, Dennis Cox here from my friends over at Loan Pronto. Great news for homeowners out there. Mortgage rates are tanking. My friends at Loan Pronto have APRs that start with a 4. This is the best rate in years. Listen, if your current rate is over 6%, you can dump it and lower your house payment big time. That's easy for me to say. Loan Pronto has locked in folks recently at 4.99% APR. That number's so low has my tongue twisted all up. Whether you got your loan just last week, maybe last month, or even last year, it's time to call Loan Pronto. Even if you're in process with another lender, stop now and call Loan Pronto. Ask about their zero-cost rate reduction home loan. You can lock in a lower rate with no closing costs in a matter of days with almost no paperwork and usually no appraisal. And if you act now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. So call now. Loan Pronto can give you a rate quote in minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Call 919-381-1760 or go to loanpronto.com. Again, the number 919-381-1760. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781 on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. We'll be back with the starting 5 to start off the 5 o'clock hour coming up next.
Hey, Carolina Panthers fans, it's Dennis Cox from 99.9 The Fan. For all the inside information on your team, join me and my co-host, WRAL TV's Chris Lee, for our podcast, Panthers Playbook, presented by Carolina Ford Dealers. In every episode, we'll keep you up to date on your Panthers, and we'll do it with access only we can provide. Locker room insight, exclusive interviews, and in-depth looks at every Panthers game. Follow and subscribe to Panthers Playbook wherever you discover your favorite podcasts or watch on YouTube.
It's bow time.
A leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99.
Leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99.
So crispy.
So crispy.
And juicy.
And juicy.
So much flavor.
So much.
Stop it. What are you doing?
What? You expect me to get this delicious deal and not say anything?
You're unbelievable.
You're unbelievable.
With a boldly seasoned leg and thigh, choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea, it's a deal so good it's worth repeating. So eat and repeat while it lasts. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Dine in, drive through, or tap your favorite delivery app and have Bojangles come to you. Satisfy your craving for flavor right now with Bojangles 2-piece dinner. 2 pieces of Bojangles dark meat chicken, your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and iced tea for just $5.99. That's right, just $5.99 for limited time at participating Bojangles. What are you waiting for? When you're hungry, it's always bow time.
Are you ready to rule the realm? With the new Game of Thrones scratch-off from the North Carolina Education Lottery, you can. This epic game gives you the chance to win up to $200,000 instantly, or a trip to beautiful Napa Valley to play the Seven Kingdoms experience, where you could take home your share of up to $7 million in cash prizes. So treat yourself like royalty. Play the Game of Thrones scratch-off today, and let your reign begin. Must be 18 to play. Approximate overall odds are 1 in 4.31. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
Get the new Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 6 and Z Flip 6 powered by Galaxy AI with Spectrum free anytime upgrade. Use Circle to search with Google to see more and search more on the large Z Fold 6 screen. Or capture perfectly framed pics using FlexCam and Z Flip 6. Order now with Spectrum free anytime upgrade and get up to $1,000 off, plus the value of your trade-in. Visit a Spectrum store or SpectrumMobile.com today. Offer subject to change. Valid for qualified residential customers only. Service not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
Drive into summer with the Honda CR-V and Accord, your fun-to-drive weekend getaway vehicles. From Honda, the 2024 Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com Best Value brand. So hurry in to the Honda Summer Event. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 2.9% APR on a 2025 CR-V or 2024 Accord.
Contact your local Carolina Honda dealer for a great deal today.
See dealer for financing details based on 2024 Consumer Choice Awards from Kelley Blue Book. Visit kbb.com for more information.
This hour of the Triangle Sports Leader is powered by Ritchie Law Firm Injury Lawyers.
He scores! What a comeback!
Visit GotBryan.com. That's GotBryan.com.
WCMC HD1 Holly Springs. Take us with you on radio, web, app, Alexa, and YouTube. 99.9 The Fan, the Triangle Sports Leader.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm WRAL meteorologist Mike Mays. The rain from Debbie has arrived, and it sticks with us clear through Friday. Tonight's low 73. It's an 80% chance for showers and storms tomorrow. Some flooding possible, 82. Most likely flooding Thursday, 79.
Weather update brought to you by Newcomb & Company, where your comfort is their business. Visit newcombandcompany.com. 5 o'clock check of your money. Dow Jones up 294 points today to 38,997. Market update brought to you by the Good Feet Store. Ready to step into a healthy and active lifestyle? Come to the Good Feet store and experience the difference. Discover how a simple step can lead to a life of pain-free possibilities.
It's 5 o'clock. Time to serve up the biggest sports stories of the day. Here comes your starting 5.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time for the starting 5. And as always, we start with number 5. The Olympics are going on as we speak.
Let's go.
And it turns out Team USA men's basketball, you get to the knockout rounds.
Have fun.
There's a little bit of a switch they flipped. They are up 107-78 on Brazil right now with 5 minutes left in the game.
I think that game's already finished, actually.
Really?
Yeah, because it's like
midnight
over there.
I think it started at 3:30.
Oh, did it? Okay, maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, maybe it was supposed to be over a little bit earlier, but when you're scoring now 109 points, maybe it takes some time. It says live in the corner of the USA channel, but I also have seen replays that have that little live logo on there. So either way, the Olympics today, good day for the United States. Good day for the United States. We're back on top of the medal victory rankings, but there's a few things I want to point out. My favorite Olympian to watch, Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone. Semifinal race today. She won it. Buckle up for the 400-meter hurdles. She will blow your mind because she's going to win by 1 billion trillion against the others that are the best at. Like, I can't imagine. I can understand winning a race by a lot. It's very difficult for me to understand winning a race by a lot against supposedly the other 8 best people in the world at that event, right?
It's like, if these are the 9 fastest people in the world and you dust them.
It's the Katie Ledecky effect of you're telling me these other 1,500-meter swimmers are faster than anyone they'll run into in their daily lives ever in history, but then you dust them by a lap? That Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone is going to do the same thing. I have a proposed change to the Olympics.
Okay.
I already talked about how I hate the repechage, which is like the extra, hey, you lost, but you didn't, one more chance race. I don't like that. I think the Olympics, and this has become one of my little my championed causes. I'm crusading for a better end to the Olympics. I think we need to think about what event will be the final event in competition and end it with a bang. The last day of Olympics, I looked it up this year, this Olympics. A lot of handball on the final day, water polo, the women's marathon, a bunch of indoor cycling, ton of indoor cycling. The women's basketball bronze and gold medal games. Good events, not hating on those events, solid events. How do we feel about the last night of the Olympics, every single Olympics, men's and women's 100-meter dash?
Oh, yeah, just end it with that?
That's the last thing. You crown the fastest woman, the fastest man. Boom, end. Something to look forward to the whole time. Can you imagine that Noah Lyles finish?
Oh, yeah, to cap it off?
If that was, it's the George Costanza, right? You make a good joke, thank you, everybody, good night, and you just walk out. You need to have something that ends awesome so everybody leaves the Olympics that's great. I don't know if you're going to get that from indoor cycling.
Maybe not.
Or what about this, right? I'll give you more options. If you don't want to end it with the 100-meter, because I get it. Somebody runs 100-meter, they want to run the 200-meter, maybe it's better to run the 200 second.
You have relays and all that kind of stuff.
What if it was something cool and specific to each host city or venue?
Okay.
For example, in Paris, the beach volleyball is literally 50 yards from the base of the Eiffel Tower.
Mm-hmm.
It's, I think, the coolest venue that they have.
It's a really cool visual, yeah.
End it with beach volleyball, and the moment that the final score, the final block, the final spike, whatever it is that you win, fireworks on the Eiffel Tower like it's New Year's.
Oh, okay.
Right? Just boom, 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 boom. And that's how it ends. Like think about the ending as something intentional rather than just, yeah, we ended with water polo.
So in L.A., we got to have the Hollywood sign out there in the background. So as soon as the Olympics ends, we're shooting off
Finish
fireworks.
the triathlon at the Hollywood sign.
Yeah, running up that hill.
Why not? Everyone's doing it. It's the same course for everybody.
I know. It sounds pretty intense.
Or finish the marathon on the Hollywood Stars Walk of Fame.
Okay.
Or it could be something in the Coliseum. That's easy enough.
That's another good one to do.
100-meter dash in the Coliseum.
Yeah.
I don't know, something iconic at the end, because the opening ceremonies you always think of iconic, right? Especially for the ones that are hosted in America, right? There's Ali lighting the torch. There's I think it was it Lake Placid or Salt Lake when the 1980 team pointed at the torch.
Oh yeah.
Like you're always thinking of these iconic moments to start. Create an iconic moment at the end. Because we're starting to get to the point where you can see the end of the Olympics, right? You can see the light at the end of the tunnel. And I'm going I want something to look forward to all the way till the end. Make something cool. That's one of my bugaboos with the Olympics. Other than that, it's pretty great. I mean, the storylines have been awesome. Do you see the last one? I just have these notes, and I like talking about the Olympics. Armand Duplantis, the pole vaulter who broke the world record.
For Sweden, yeah.
Yeah, he grew up in Louisiana.
Oh, did he?
His parents are Swedish, though.
Okay.
I was so impressed because I went on a long tangent here on the show about how cool it is to break a world record. I didn't realize what he's doing. He is the guy that I talk about that I saw at Dave & Buster's breaking the high score in the Papa Shot. This guy I saw at Dave & Buster's when I was a kid, right hand, left hand at the Papa Shot, brought all the balls into one from all 4 Papa Shot stalls into one, boom, 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 would break the record by 1 every time, because when you broke the record, you got the jackpot of tickets, and he knew if he set the record as far as he could, he would have a hard time breaking it again, so he'd break it by 1 over and over and over again and load up on tickets. That's Duplantis.
How many tickets did he get?
He has set the world record since 2022 at 6.17 meters, 6.18 meters, 6.19 meters, 6.2 meters, 6.21 meters, 6.22 meters, 6.23 meters, 6.24 meters, and 6.25 meters. I think he can go higher.
It's a lot of tickets.
And by the way,
I'd be a PS5 at that point.
I didn't realize this. Track and field athletes, many of their sponsors and like Nike, if they're sponsored by or whatever, will give you a cash bonus for breaking a world record. It'll be in your contract. So he is breaking it by the smallest margin they let him break it at every major meet.
Smart.
It's smart, but it does make each world record breaking feat a little less exciting.
I don't know. You're breaking world records here.
I think he could do 6.3 meters. It's gonna take 4 more international meets to see if he gets there. Yeah, get your money. That's number 5. Let's jump to number 4.
We are the 4 horsemen. Woo!
Sam Darnold, former Panthers quarterback Sam Darnold, listed as the starter on the Minnesota Vikings' first depth chart. Baker Mayfield, starting in Tampa. Panthers.
Go figure.
Panthers, did you miss out on a couple of NFL starting quarterbacks that were not only in your franchise, but you put them out on the field?
Well, how long do you think Sam Darnold's actually going to start in Minnesota before J.J. McCarthy actually takes over?
I'd have to ask Justin Jefferson to see which one he likes better.
Yeah, exactly.
I assume he's calling the shots out there.
He might be.
But how about this? Can we count, if that's 2 former Panthers starting, can we count Caleb Williams as a former Panther? He was drafted with the Panthers pick.
No.
That doesn't count?
No, just the one that got away.
Hard Knocks, Bears preseason, premieres tonight.
Oh, it does? Okay.
Episode 1. I'm worried we're going to get a behind the scenes about how another team swindled the Panthers, because they're going to have to tell the story of how Caleb Williams ended up a Bear. And if you watched the Giants off-season Hard Knocks, it was essentially like a 3-episode arc of this is how badly the Giants swindled the Panthers in the Brian Burns trade negotiations. If I turn on another Hard Knocks and they start with, Caleb Williams probably shouldn't even be a Bear. Let's go back and find out how. And it's all about that trade. I am going to go crazy because I love watching Hard Knocks and I'm going to watch it. It's one of my favorite shows. But I don't need the Panthers to keep getting dragged through the mud over and over and over again. Maybe I'd rather watch Sam Darnold start for the Vikings. That's number 4. Let's jump to number 3.
1, 2, 3.
Speaking of the Giants, did you see old Danny Dimes?
Oh, Danny. That dude just won the locker room yesterday.
Danny Roundhouse.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Danny LaRussa.
There you go.
But he didn't actually throw a roundhouse. He kind of shoved.
I wish he did.
Daniel Jones. So right now the Giants and the Lions are joint practicing.
Mm-hmm.
There's been quite a few little scuffles.
Oh, yeah. Several.
Malik Neighbors has gotten in the mix. Amon-Ra St. Brown has gotten in the mix. There's been quite a few scuffles. I would say both funniest and meaningful list. Daniel Jones. I can't stop calling him Danny now. Daniel Jones started one of them.
Yeah.
There was a little bit of a play where maybe it got a little more physical than it should. Daniel Jones ran over there and threw a good old two-handed push.
So what happened was the center for the Giants was on the ground, like on his back. And Aleem McNeil, who played at NC State, is actually from Raleigh, played at Sanderson High School.
Good player, really good player.
Great player. Was on top of him, and he was trying to stand up, and the Giant center was still grabbing his jersey. And so Aleem McNeil tries to push him away, hey, I'm trying to stand up. You're pulling me down. Daniel Jones sees Aleem McNeil push down on the Giant center and does a two-hand shove right into the back of Aleem McNeil. So you have two, kind of local ties here, just starting scuffles, and then before you know it, everyone's in there. Before you know it, it's like hockey where you see everyone around the net, don't you touch my goalie. That is one of those situations.
A coach ran over and grabbed Daniel and got him out of there, yoked him up and got him out of there.
Hey, buddy.
Which is the same thing, ironically, speaking of Brian Burns said afterwards, because, the Giants' offense and Lions' defense are on one field and then vice versa on another field. So the Giants' defense didn't really get to see it. And after practice, Brian Burns was asked, hey, did you hear about your quarterback getting involved in it? He was like, Danny was getting in there? I will openly say, it's stupid, right? But a quarterback getting involved in one of those skirmishes does weirdly make you a little bit endearing to the rest of the team. It's dumb. But I don't decide what happens. If you get involved in one of those things, Brett Favre used to get in Warren Sapp's face, only to have offensive linemen have to come bail him out. That's part of the leadership thing. It doesn't make a lot of sense. Dennis just informed me we actually have the audio of Brian Burns talking about the Daniel Jones shoving match. So here that is.
Oh, Lord. Daniel got jiggy with it. Daniel was out there with it? Yeah, he did. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to need him to back up. Yeah, I'm going to need him to back up. Let his O-line handle that. But
That's the thing, right? It's funny. It's all right. He's not afraid. He's going to get in there. Now, seriously, back up, right? Protect that throwing arm. Because if you remember, the last 2 seasons for Daniel Jones upended by injuries. Or 2 of the last 3, I should say.
Also, one of the dumbest things ever in football is when they get into fights. I'm going to swing at you with a helmet and face mask on. I'm like, you're dumb for doing that.
If I do not condone training camp fights. Body blows. Body blows.
Yeah.
Shoulders protected by shoulder pads. It's going to hurt your hand. Helmet, it's going to break your hand.
Yeah.
Ab section, right? Get down there in the torso. Body blows if you're going to punch. But again, I don't condone it. Daniel Jones especially. Get the heck out of there. He does look like he's bulked up a little bit, though.
He does.
Bumped up a weight class. All of a sudden, he thinks he's ready to scrap with some defensive linemen.
But like you said, you win a locker room over real quick. Real quick doing that.
It is. And it's funny, and they'll make fun of you for it, but it's good ribbing, where they're like, what were you going to do, Daniel? lanky self in there. What were you gonna do? Like it's good ribbing, and it's I don't know.
That's what you're like. Well, I saw you standing over there. What were you doing?
Yeah, there's no way to explain it. Locker rooms are a weird place. That's number 3. Let's jump to number 2.
Just the two of us.
The Athletic put out their annual list of the biggest athletic freaks in college football. I do feel like we have to highlight the wide receiver from South Carolina, Nick Harbor. This is everyone's playing the college football video game, College Football 25.
Great game.
I don't think they'd let you make a player this athletic. I think that they would say, like, sorry, you just tore both ACLs trying to do this. He is 6'5", 242 pounds, just 19 years old, turned 19 in July, so a fresh 19-year-old. He runs 10.1 seconds in the 100-meter dash. That is like a refrigerator running 0.3 of a second slower than the Olympic gold medalists in the 100-meter dash.
And he is 6'5", 242?
Yeah. He's like roughly the dimensions of the refrigerator in your kitchen.
What?
He's the number 1 college football freak athlete, according to The Athletic. I have a hard time arguing with that. Do you know what's actually crazier? He was on South Carolina last year, and Xavier Legette was the one they kept getting the ball to. So that probably says something good about Xavier Legette for the Panthers, that they could have been handing it off to this Nick Harbor guy and watching him run to the corner every time. Instead, they were getting it to Xavier Legette. Davin Vann from NC State, the 6th freakiest athlete. That's good for that defense, right? That's a player that can get after the quarterback as well as bench press the world in stopping the run. Looking elsewhere, East Carolina has a cornerback, 35th freakiest athlete. It's actually kind of the group of 5 teams in the state of North Carolina sounded out well, and FCS. East Carolina has a corner who's the 35th freakiest athlete. App State has a defensive lineman who's top 50 at 45. That is Santana Hopper. Great name. Elon represented Chandler Brayboy, a wide receiver. Wake Forest represented. Here's the thing. I don't think you can be effective in the NFL as just a freak athlete, although they always try, right? It's why, for the most part, you see if you look at like the top 40-yard dash times of all time at the NFL Combine, a lot of the wide receivers don't pan out, right? You can't just be fast at the NFL level. I do think there's a role in college football for just the freak athletes, whether it's, hey, I only need you to catch, 7 passes this year, but 6 of them are going to be 60-yard touchdowns, or just, hey, I need you to run deep on all of these plays and be faster than everyone else just to take a safety with you and let us operate in better space underneath. There's something you can do with just the best athletes in college football that doesn't translate to the NFL. So these lists matter more in college football than they do in the NFL. You also need to be a great football player to be effective in the NFL. That's number 2. Let's get to number 1.
Go one!
Panthers practice this morning. Started out as what I considered pretty cool day. They had some good one-on-ones, some good highlights. Julius Peppers was at Panthers training camp, fresh off of being inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame. So he brought those good vibes. They played over the loudspeaker. Did you see this? They played music during training camp a lot, a bunch of different periods.
Mm-hmm.
They played Hot in Here with Julius Peppers there.
Oh, yeah?
For those of you that don't know, Julius Peppers was in the Nelly Hot in Here video back in like 2003. With no acknowledgement. It's just you pan through the party and there's Julius Peppers.
Torrey Holt's in one of Nelly's music videos as well.
Perhaps,
I think the Air Force One video, yeah.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe it became a thing.
Yeah.
But so they started playing that. It was funny. According to reporters, Julius Peppers gave a speech to the Panthers after practice. I was like, this is great vibes. And then Dave Canales after practice said that Bryce Young, they had decided, will not be playing in the preseason opener on Thursday. And I have to admit, a little bit of a buzzkill. I was looking forward to seeing Bryce Young in the new offense, seeing him work through the kinks of the new offense, and then also, and this is a point that Dennis brought up to me earlier today, it's not just Bryce Young not getting the reps that Bryce Young needs. It's also Dave Canales as a play caller and a head coach will not have a game-like situation for him in the first preseason game. Because, like, we can talk and we will talk a ton about this year being a year that Bryce Young needs to develop. He needs to grow into a franchise quarterback. He needs to take advantage of opportunities and be better than he was last year. But we should also talk about this is Dave Canales' first rodeo as a head coach, right? This is his first chance to grow as a leader, right? In a true, like, the guy calling the shots scenario. He is also trying to do what he did last year, which is be the guy that runs an offense. So he's going to be in the headset of Bryce Young calling plays. He's going to be deciding, when to cash in on play action and things. He's going to be deciding that while also, calling timeouts, and also deciding when to challenge, and also deciding when to go for two, and also deciding, whether to run a trick play or all of these things, like the head coach stuff. He might need a couple dress rehearsals, right? And that goes for how do you communicate with Bryce Young, right? I said this earlier on the Adam Gold show, but almost universally, when whoever's running the offense, head coach, offensive coordinator, whoever's running the offense, talks to the quarterback after any drive. I don't care if you just had an 80-yard touchdown drive or if you just went 3 and out and lost 6 yards. When the quarterback gets to the sideline, the offensive mind is going to look at him and go, "What are you seeing?" It's like a universal phrase. What are you seeing out there? What it stands for is, what's the defense doing? Let's make sure we're seeing it the same way, right? Because I don't want me saying, like, geez, they keep going to – I'm going to use an over-the-top obvious example. Man, they keep going to cover 1. Meanwhile, the offensive mind is like, I saw them playing cover 4. Like, you need to make sure you're lined up so you can talk and get the offense on the right page. Dave Canales and Bryce Young have never done that, right? In practice, it's not the same. In practice, yell over to the defensive coordinator. Hey, what were you guys running on that one? All right, cool. In a game, it's not that. You might get pictures. You might get that little the iPad or Surface tablet, whatever they use on the sideline, scroll through it, but you have to talk through it. You have to figure it out on your own. They've never done that. And I guess you might be able to do it on the sideline without Bryce Young playing, but it's not the same. There are certain things, certain conversations from field to coach, from being out there to being on the sideline or being in the booth, that you need a little practice on that. So Dave Canales is also not getting that practice. And then it rolls, what rolls downhill? Then communication rolls downhill. There you go. Because Dave Canales has to learn how to talk with Bryce Young. Bryce Young has to learn how to talk with Deontay. Same thing, right? Bryce Young's going to go to his number 1 wide receiver and say, hey, on that third down, how'd they play you? Hey, on that third down, what'd you see? What'd the safety do? Make sure you're on the same page. All of that is things that can be practiced, are things that can be practiced during the preseason. And they will not be practicing it on Thursday with Bryce Young, at least not in full. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Before we grab some numbers, game contestants, here's Dennis Cox.
Hey, Dennis Cox here for my good friends over at Law Tigers. We always talk about community, family, right? That's one thing about being a sports fan of your favorite team. You're part of that community. You're part of an environment where everyone is supporting the same thing. And this is where, like myself, I ride a motorcycle. I'm part of that community now. It's been amazing being part of that group of people that also ride motorcycles. Everyone's supportive of each other. And this is where Law Tigers comes in, because Law Tigers, they're motorcycle riders too. So if you ever are injured in a motorcycle accident, it's nice when you have people in your family and your community there to back you up. Again, this is where Law Tigers comes in. If you're ever injured in a motorcycle accident, call 1-800-LAW-TIGERS before you call your insurance company. Insurance companies, they just want to pay you the least amount of money possible. Law Tigers, Like I said, they're riders too. They understand what your bike is worth. They understand what your gear is worth. They understand what you're going through after an accident. Again, they're part of that community. Your case evaluation with them is always free, and they do not get paid until your case settles. So call 1-800-LAW Tigers, North Carolina's motorcycle lawyers. Law Tigers is a network of independent law firms who are members of the American Association of Motorcycle Injury Lawyers. Law Tigers is not a law firm.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, needs a couple of numbers game contestants. We have a $25 gift card to Sharky's Bar and Grill going to the winner of the numbers game. Sharky's with back-to-back-to-back-to-back wins for best wings in the triangle, voted best sports bar, quite possibly the best neighborhood bar in the world, Sharky's. If you want the $25 gift card, you got to win the numbers game. You want to win? You have to call in now. We need 2 contestants. The number to call, 919-860-5326. That's 919-860-5326. Numbers game coming up next.
The world's best athletes are in Paris going for the gold, and 99.9 The Fan will help you follow them for all 16 days of the Summer Games through August 11th. Listen for all the action from across the Atlantic. Check in often for event reports from Paris and the updated medal count as Team USA takes on the world. Updates from the Summer Games on 99.9 The Fan are presented by North Carolina FC. Get your tickets today at NorthCarolinaFC.com.
Navy Federal Credit Union is back with more eligibility. Now you can hear all your favorites like, my brother's a veteran, I get amazing rates. My mom served, I get 24/7 member support. Grandpa was a soldier and now I'm a member. And who could forget, thanks to my father who served in the military, I'm now eligible for incredible member benefits. Call 1-855-800-2102 or visit NavyFederal.org today. Navy Federal Credit Union. Our members are the mission. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Lender.
Bobby Joe absolutely hated her job.
Can't hate that job any more than I do.
So, time for one of those fancy tech schools?
No, I could never afford that. I'm going to Sharky's.
Sharky's?
Yeah, no better place to relax. Great food, cold beer, good whiskey, darts, billiards.
So now you love your job?
No, I still hate my job, but I loves me some Sharky's. I highly recommend it.
Yeah, everybody loves Sharky's. Sharky's Place, one of the best neighborhood bars in the world. 5800 Durley Road by the Shell Station.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code TURN to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code TURN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code TURN for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Let me talk to those of you who are contact lens wearers. Are you tired of wasting time and money every day, putting them in, taking them out, cleaning, ordering new ones, glasses, prescription sunglasses? I could go on and on. Dr. Lori Travers and Travers LASIK are your answers to my question. In just 5 minutes per eye, Dr. Lori can put you on the path to 20/20 vision. Plus, it's totally painless. You can go back to work the next day. And 2 years, 0 interest financing is available. And we're throwing in $1,000 off. Now the hard part, you actually have to pick up the phone. 919-510-6830. Make the call now. The consultation is free. You could go online, traverslasik.com, but you can call 919-510-6830, 919-510-6830. Go to 20/20 vision in less than 10 minutes. Dr. Lori Travers, Travers LASIK. See what you've been missing.
Westwood One Sports presents this special update on the 2024 Summer Games, sponsored by Realtors. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. The U.S. men's basketball team is having no problems in their quarterfinal matchup against Brazil. Right now with 5:23 to go, the U.S. is on top, 106-78. Kevin Durant with 11 points in that game. He's now the all-time leading scorer in Team USA history. The American beach volleyball duo of Sarah Hughes and Kelly Cheng has been eliminated in straight sets. Hughes and Cheng fell to Switzerland 21-18 and 21-19. A pair of gold medals for the U.S. on the track today. Gabby Thomas took the top spot in the women's 200 meters, while Cole Hocker upset the favorites to win gold in the men's 1,500 meters. And Amit Elor added to the U.S. gold medal count with a win in the women's 149-pound wrestling final. The Americans' 24 gold medals are the most of any nation competing at these games. With this Summer Games update, I'm Ryan Radke, Westwood One Sports.
There are any number of reasons you might consider selling your home. To move closer to family, live within a smaller budget, or just wanting a change of scenery. Whatever your reasons, having to figure out all the various housing market trends in your area may not be what you signed up for. That's where an agent who is a realtor comes in. Realtors have the expertise to help you find the right price and navigate the process to sell your home in a way that's right for you. That's who we are. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors.
Wellness means something different to each of us. And at Westin Hotels and Resorts, we believe every step is an opportunity to enhance your well-being. Whether it's guided group runs and workout gear on demand, or nourishing food options and restorative rest in our heavenly bed, when you travel, you can find wellness at Westin, one of 30 hotel brands in the Marriott Bonvoy portfolio. Find wellness at Westin.
Paris Summer Games updates on 99.9 The Fan are brought to you by North Carolina FC. Get your tickets today at northcarolinafc.com.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. It is time to play the numbers game. The prize for today is a $25 Sharkies gift card. And the contestants for today are Brett in Raleigh and Adam in Apex. We'll start with Brett in Raleigh for a question to see who goes first. Brett, we are really covering the Olympics. Been doing Summer Games updates, bunch of conversations. Excuse me. If you could win an Olympic gold medal in any event, what event would it be and why?
Well, I think I would win trampoline because I always had one in my backyard as a kid, and I thought I could do some pretty sick tricks when I was 10 years old.
You know what? I think you would win. We need to send you to the 2028 Olympics. Brett, will hold on tight. We'll see if it holds up. Adam in Apex. We'll go to Adam in Apex. Adam, are you there?
Yes, sir, I am. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. If you were to win an Olympic gold medal, you could choose any event. What would you choose?
Hands down, badminton. Grew up playing badminton in my front yard. At my high school, we had badminton tournaments. I got really, really into it for a while. It's like my favorite one to watch.
I had no idea that answer was going to go in that direction. I think we have to go with the high school badminton aficionado. Adam in Apex, you get to go first. Brett and Raleigh, hang tight. You'll have your chance.
Both great answers, by the way.
Both were great answers.
And great reasons for it.
Yeah, I'm with it. Both nostalgic. Just one of them, I feel like a lot of people have the trampoline memory. Not everybody has. Remember those couple years in high school where I got really into badminton? All right, Adam, you get to pick out of these categories. NFL Ohio pros, all players that play their football in Ohio. NFL Florida pros, same thing but Florida. NBA current players only, or NHL Canes and Whalers only?
Got to go Canes and Whalers.
All right. I honestly, I have no idea to predict which direction you're going to go after the badminton answer. So I'll give you the team and the player. You'll give me the jersey number. I will say the team, even though we know the team in this category, just to keep it fair for timing-wise with the other contestants and other categories. So I'll give you the team and the player. Give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. You have one pass if you need it. Any questions before we get started?
No, sir.
All right, your time will start when you hear the horn. Frederick Anderson, Carolina Hurricanes.
31.
Correct. Victor Rask, Carolina Hurricanes.
28.
Incorrect. Warren Fogle, Carolina Hurricanes.
15.
Incorrect. Victor Rask, Carolina Hurricanes.
33.
Incorrect. Warren Fogle, Carolina Hurricanes.
Pass.
Anton Hudobin, Carolina Hurricanes. Hudobin, sorry, Carolina Hurricanes.
45.
Incorrect. Victor Rask, Carolina Hurricanes.
24.
You got Freddie Anderson with 31. Then you ran into a little bit of a struggle there. Rask, number 49 with the Canes. Fogle, we would have accepted 37 or 13. And then Hudobin with the Canes, ironically, the same number as Freddie, number 31. You got one. It's good enough. You didn't get shut out. We'll see if it
didn't get shut out.
We'll see if it holds up, all right? So sit on the line, and we'll see if you're the winner. That brings us to Brett and Raleigh. Brett, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Trampoline Brett, pick your category. NFL.
So
Go ahead.
I have a question. Are the football players NFL players in Ohio and Florida, or?
NFL, yes. NFL players in Ohio during the number we'll be asking you for is from when they played in that particular country or state.
Okay, gotcha. I'm going to go with Florida.
All right. Florida Pros, NFL category. I'll give you the team and the player. You give me the jersey number as quickly as you can. 30 seconds on the clock. You have one pass if you need it. You need 2 for the win. Any questions before we get started?
Ready to go.
All right. Your time will start when you hear the horn. Jameis Winston, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
10.
Incorrect. Ricky Williams, Miami Dolphins.
Pass.
Maurice Jones-Drew, Jacksonville Jaguars.
8. T88.
Incorrect. Jameis Winston, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
8.
Incorrect. Ricky Williams, Miami Dolphins.
12.
Incorrect. Maurice Jones-Drew, Jacksonville Jaguars.
13.
Incorrect. Jameis Winston, Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
13.
Incorrect. Ricky Williams, Miami Dolphins.
10.
I'm just going to take a hypothesis here. You are a very modern NFL fan?
Oh, 100%.
All right, so these players who, by the way, do not seem old to me.
Should have got Jameis. I should have got Jameis.
Jameis were number 3 with Tampa Bay. Ricky Williams with the Dolphins. Ricky Williams is pretty famous, number 34. And then Maurice Jones-Drew. Do you have any idea even what position MJD plays?
Cornerback?
Yeah. No, I had that feeling that you were kind of in the dark on that one. He's a running back. He was pretty good there for a while. He wore number 32 with the Jags. Unfortunately, that is an offer, as we call it. That means you are not the winner. But hopefully you had a good time.
Oh, I did.
All right, cool. Appreciate you for playing. And that means Adam and Apex, you are the winner. Congratulations.
Freddie actually saved something for once. I'm joking.
What a zing!
I'm
that was
joking.
a good one. That was.
Freddie actually saved something for once. What a zing! You know what? Because that joke was so good, you get a $25 gift card to Sharky's Place, which you've already won. So stay on the line, and Dennis will get some info from you. But congratulations once again. Sharky's with back-to-back-to-back-to-back wins for best wings in the Triangle, voted best sports bar, quite possibly the best neighborhood bar in the world, Sharky's. Also, I just want to let everybody know, for the past year, you've heard all the perfect scores on the numbers game. We're bringing those champions to the stage in our inaugural Numbers Game live show presented by Sharky's Place Sports Bar and Grill, which just gave away the prize there. It's an invitation-only event that brings past players together on August 21st at the Hilton Raleigh North Hills, but you can join us on YouTube as we crown a Numbers Game Champion of Champions. Special thanks to Onsite Audiovisual, supplying the sights and sounds of the Numbers Game live. The night will be full of prizes and surprises. August 21st, the Numbers Game live at the Hilton Raleigh North Hills. You can catch it on YouTube live. That was a very good contestant. I just want to give that shout out quickly for handling his business, getting the win, and making a couple good jokes along the way. Now I'm going to handle my business by telling you, Tim Donnelly here for Miller Lending. The markets, so impossible to predict if the last few days have proven anything, right? But as those rates go down, mortgage rates, interest rates, as they go down, make sure you keep Miller Lending's phone number handy because no cost to you, they can refi. They can get you a lower rate, potentially, if your rate is up there in the 7s or higher, because they do something called the no closing cost loan. And they've been doing it for a very long time. No third-party fees, no closing costs at all. Zero means zero. And what it does is it allows you to refinance and lower your monthly rate, potentially, without taking any money out of your pocket, right? Depending on where the rates are and what rate you have locked in already. If you think the rates are going to drop in the next decade or even way before that, you'll be refinancing multiple times over. With Miller Lending, you won't be going into your pocket multiple times to pay all those costs and fees. So stop paying closing costs and instead give a call to Miller Lending at 919-447-3377. That's 919-447-3377. Or you can go online at millerlending.com. That's millerlending.com. Miller Lending is an equal housing lender, and MLS number 250-2146. We're going to take a break. When we come back, a player in the ACC at a school in the Triangle that should not be slept on, that some might be snoozing on. Stick around. It's coming up next.
Hi, this is Renee Chu. The most trusted local news in the Triangle is now on the radio. WRL News Plus. Now get breaking news and severe weather reports on the radio 24 hours a day. Listen on the radio at 96.5 FM in Durham, 99.3 FM in Raleigh, and everywhere in the Triangle at 101.5 HD3.
You know that feeling? That confident, swaggerific feeling that says, look at me, world, I know stuff. Own that feeling with PlaySmart, a fun new go-to resource from the North Carolina Education Lottery. With PlaySmart, get to know the odds, learn tips, set limits and budgets, and make the most of your play. Awesome feeling, right? Right. Play smart, the way smart players play. Visit ncplaysmart.com. Must be 18 to play. Problem gambling helpline 877-718-5543.
To make me feel better. All I wanna know is, can I get up? Juicy double patty, the McNuggets so crisp, and the fries go to yellow, yeah, McDonald's don't miss, yeah. Order the app or the drive-through quick, yeah. $5, that's a deal, yeah. I got McDonald's money.
Is your heating and air system ready for hot weather? Call Newcomb & Company today to schedule a routine maintenance and ensure your system is operating at peak performance. Become a Comfort Contract customer to receive priority service and a 15% discount on service calls and repairs for HVAC and plumbing work. Newcomb & Company has served the area as a Carrier Factory authorized dealer for more than 3 generations. Turn to the experts today. Call 919-862-3000 or find us at newcombandcompany.com. Newcomb & Company and Carrier. Your comfort is our business.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the 3rd time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu.
Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
Adam Gold here from my friends at FanDuel, America's #1 sports book, and they are the best place to bet the games this summer because right now new customers can get $150 in bonus bets if your first $5 wager wins. Then you can bet on all your favorite international teams in all your favorite sports. Basketball to badminton, soccer to swimming. FanDuel's got it all, so don't miss your chance to score $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Go to FanDuel.com/AdamGold, sign up, and start betting the games today. We make every moment more with FanDuel. 21 or over and present in North Carolina. First online real money wager only. $5 first deposit required. Bonuses issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. Restrictions apply. See full terms at FanDuel.com/sportsbook. Gambling problem? Call 877-718-5543 or visit morethanagame.nc.gov.
Organize easy. Organize tough. Customize your work truck or van with upfit solutions from Van Products. Steel and aluminum shelving, toolboxes, data files, cabinets, drawers, conduit carriers, ladder racks, everything safe and secure. Everything built as unbreakable as you by Adrian Steel. Backed by the best warranty in the business. 3 years, 36,000 miles. Everything custom installed by Van Products so you know it's done right. From a single work rig to a fleet, choose custom installed upfit solutions from Van Products.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan. Listen to 99.9 The Fan for coverage of the summer games from France. Here's the current medal count presented by North Carolina FC. We, the United States, have opened up a 2 gold medal lead. We now have a 24 gold medal total count. And the next closest amongst countries is the People's Republic of China with 22. Then Australia with 14, France with 13, on and on down the way. Great Britain with 12. In total medals, we are in the lead with 86. Next closest is People's Republic of China with 59, and then drops down to France with 48. The medals for today come in the men's 1,500 meter. Cole Hocker ended up getting the win. The women's 200 meter, Gabby Thomas absolutely rolled in that final.
It was one of those situations where she was kind of like pulling up and like, yep, I got this.
That's so impressive.
I know.
So wildly impressive. A few others. And we're also expecting, let's see here. Women's freestyle wrestling.
Yeah.
Amit Elor, 68 kilograms, picked up a gold medal.
Oh, let's go.
So there you go.
I love freestyle wrestling. I remember they took it away for a little bit from the Olympics. I'm like,
Did they?
why?
I didn't know that.
Why? But it's back, thankfully. Freestyle wrestling, I absolutely love freestyle wrestling because when I think of Olympics, like going like way back to like the origins of the sport, there's 2 things that come to mind: track and field events and wrestling. Those are the 2 things that popped into my head.
Ironically, I think the first one's also had like tug of war, and that always pops into my head.
Let's bring it back. Let's go.
Tug of war, like I'm all for like camp games.
Yeah.
Let's get a
capture the flag. Let's go.
3-legged race, sack races. Let's see what we can do.
Capture the flag. Water balloon fight.
Now we're talking. The water balloon toss, where you have to take, when you catch it, you take one big step back and then you throw it again. You know what I'm talking about?
Toss?
Egg toss.
Oh, you do egg
water
toss?
Balloon toss.
Egg toss.
Yeah, let's make it
Put
happen.
Dodgeball in there.
Let's get an egg, put it on a tablespoon, and have to walk around the cone at the other side of the field.
Yes.
We just turned the Olympics into summer camp.
Just field day. Yes, it's field day from school. That's kind of what it was.
Yeah, it kind of is.
In
like
school?
It's we called ours literally the Olympics.
Oh, really? We just called ours field day.
We divided up into countries, and it was you wore like the color from the flags, and it was a whole thing. But then that way you were like in our elementary school, like there were say you're in Italy, there would be Italy team members in like every grade, and then you total them up, and one of them won. It was a big deal. Really liked my gym teacher. By the way, speaking of the summer games, Kevin Durant, that is now the Summer Games hoops all-time scoring leader.
Really?
Early in the second half against Brazil, he passed Lisa Leslie for most points in the Summer Games by any player in USA basketball history. He now has 491 Olympic points and counting. Congrats to Kevin Durant.
Awesome.
Sounds like something that's meaningful and should be commemorated with, I don't know, a gold medal. Now go finish it. Go win. You're in the knockout
they made it
stages.
to the semis by crushing Brazil.
Yeah. Do we know who they're playing yet?
I don't know.
I don't think I haven't seen it yet.
Might be Serbia, actually.
Oh, because Serbia won in overtime against Australia. So yeah. I think you are right there. Summer Games updates on 99.9 The Fan are brought to you by North Carolina FC. Get your tickets today at northcarolinafc.com. Quickly, I want to make sure no one is, and we might have to expand on this later in the week because I don't know if I have enough time to spread my wings on this one. There's a player in the Triangle, college football, being slept on a little bit.
Okay.
Could be in for a big year. Another one. Bryson Nesbitt for UNC.
First team all ACC tight end last year.
Last year, not this year preseason.
I voted for him.
So did I. According to West Durham, John Copenhaver and Bryson Nesbitt make the best tight end room in the ACC. Yet Bryson Nesbitt, not an all-ACC pick. Nesbitt, here's why I think he's going to have a big year. Modern tight end, hybrid, right? Lines up in the slot a lot. He's 6'5", 235, so if you need him to go down and attach himself to the line, he can. But Copenhaver is 2 inches shorter and 5 pounds heavier. That tells me he's the if you need a third tackle, you know what I mean?
Basically.
He can catch, but if you do need somebody to dig out a defensive end, it's Copenhaver. With a new quarterback and Omarion Hampton, here's what I think UNC does this year. Puts them both on the field a lot. And that way, you'll set up Omarion Hampton for success running the ball with extra blockers and let Nesbitt be one of the quote-unquote wide receivers that take advantage of defenses when they stack the box.
A little safety blanket.
I see a ton of sticks over the middle, little stop routes right over the ball, and seams in Bryson Nesbitt's future. He's not on the top of many NFL tight end lists. He's not going to, I guess, wow you with any kind of unbelievable athleticism, which is basically all the NFL wants in tight ends nowadays. But he's a really good pass catcher. He knows how to use his body. He knows how to use a wide catch radius. If I'm looking for there's no reason why anyone should be surprised by Bryson Nesbitt having a big year because he's a returning all-ACC tight end. But I do feel like there's going to be some people that are like, wow, really should have saw this one coming. And I'm going to be going, yeah, you really should have saw this one coming. I talk about it all the time. Young quarterbacks, new quarterbacks, and experienced quarterbacks, they love 6'5", 235-pound tight ends with wide catch radiuses for that safety blanket that Dennis was talking about. So I think it's going to be a big year for the tight ends for UNC, and then on top of that, slip routes and all of the plays where you pretend like you're blocking for a half second and then take off. They're going to be wired for that offense because of all the attention that's going to have to be paid to the running game. So, we used to call them Y hide, which is the Y tight end. Pretend like you're blocking and then run the opposite corner. Gosh, you can roll out, stop, throw back, and it's wide open when you have a over-aggressive defense that's trying to stop the run. And every defense against North Carolina is going to be trying to stop the run.
So it sounds like they're going to run one of my favorite plays on EA College Football 25, which is just a little simple play action, bootleg, that tight end's just dragging underneath, and he's wide open. I just dump it off to him before you know it's like a 15-yard catch and run.
Just catch
moving
angle,
the sticks every single time.
I was just going to say, an angle to the first down marker.
Yep.
And just right there, sideline. If nobody's there, turn up. If not, lower your shoulder, take somebody with you. But just get the first down. That's exactly what I see Bryson Nesbitt doing.
I pick up first downs all day with that.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've run the ball actually in that game.
Yeah, I never did. That probably gives us a different experience in the game. But I'm just I want to be clear here. Nobody should be surprised by Bryson Nesbitt having a big year, but I guarantee you there will be those surprised by Bryson Nesbitt having a big year. And I want to be on top of it. I want to be in front of it. I want to say, not I, said the fly. I think that's a children's book. The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9, The Fan.
Not I said the fly.
Not I said the. I think it's not I said the fly. Not I said the cat. Not I said the fly. The Spider and the Fly. It's a poem.
Oh, there you go.
From 1829. Take that. I'm a fan of literature. Before we move on here, though, Dennis, you have something for him.
Hey, Dennis Cox here for my friends over at Loan Pronto. Great news for homeowners. Mortgage rates are tanking. My friends at Loan Pronto have rates that start with a 4. This is the best rate in years, folks. Listen, if your current rate is over 6%, you could dump it and lower your house payment big time. Loan Pronto has locked in folks recently at 4.99% APR. Whether you got your loan last week, last month, last year, it's time to call Loan Pronto. Even if you're in process with another lender, stop now and call Loan Pronto. Ask about their zero-cost rate reduction home loan. You can lock in a lower rate with no closing costs in a matter of days with almost no paperwork and usually no appraisal. And if you act now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. So call now. Loan Pronto can give you a rate quote in minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees, unlike those other guys. Call 919-381-1760 or visit loanpronto.com. Again, the number 919-381-1760. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781 on approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, is nearing its conclusion on a Tuesday. I want to thank all of you that hung out with us today. More importantly, any of you that hung out with me for the 6-hour run, because I hosted the Adam Gold Show right before this show.
Yeah, you've had a day.
I appreciate everybody for letting me have that fun talking sports with you. Overdrive is coming up next, so you still get another half hour of me. Probably tired of it by now. Bryce not playing in the preseason to start things off on Overdrive. Have a great night, everybody.
Atlantic Spas and Billiards, Buffalo Brothers, and Newcomb & Company want you to see football live in Las Vegas. It's our Fan Football Flyaway. Starting Thursday, we'll reveal keywords every hour from noon to 6. Text in the keywords to enter for chances to win a trip or 2 to Las Vegas. We'll fly you to an amazing room at the Mandalay Bay Hotel and Casino, and we'll hook you up with seats for the Carolina-Las Vegas game. The Fan Football Flyaway, only on 99.9 The Fan.
It's bow time.
A leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99?
Leg and thigh dinner from Bojangles for just $5.99?
So crispy.
So crispy.
And juicy.
And juicy.
So much flavor.
So much.
Stop it. What are you doing?
What, you expect me to get this delicious deal and not say anything?
You're unbelievable.
You're unbelievable.
With a boldly seasoned leg and thigh, choice of fixin', a biscuit, and legendary iced tea, it's a deal so good it's worth repeating. So eat and repeat while it lasts. It's bow time.
It's bow time. Dine in, drive through, or tap your favorite delivery app and have Bojangles come to you. Satisfy your craving for flavor right now with Bojangles 2-piece dinner. 2 pieces of Bojangles dark meat chicken, your choice of fixin', a biscuit, and iced tea for just $5.99. That's right, just $5.99 for limited time at participating Bojangles. What are you waiting for? When you're hungry, it's always bow time.
Have you heard of plantar fasciitis? Hi, it's Jonathan Cotton with the Good Feet Store. Imagine jumping off the back of a pickup truck onto some rocks. That's what it felt like when I was suffering from plantar fasciitis. After searching and trying so many other products, I finally found relief with Good Feet Arch Supports, and they still keep me running today. Now I get to help others who are struggling with plantar fasciitis to live their life pain-free. Here's another customer sharing their Good Feet story.
Plantar fasciitis feels like pointed, sharp pain. It just hurts all the time. It feels like your foot is squeezing on itself. When I drove past the Good Feet store, I thought, I'm just gonna stop in. They wanted to make sure that they gave me the right arch support that were personally fitted just for me. Then it was like, okay, this is something special. These make a difference.
The Good Feet store is in Raleigh, Chapel Hill, Fayetteville, and other locations across North Carolina. Visit goodfeet.com to book your appointment today, or just stop by the store nearest you.
Did your mobile provider just increase their prices again? Switch to Spectrum Mobile, the nation's fastest growing mobile provider. With Spectrum Mobile, you get unlimited talk, text, and data, plus nationwide 5G. Switching to Spectrum Mobile has never been easier. We'll pay off your phone balance up to $2,500. Stop dealing with price hikes from your cell phone company. Get Spectrum Mobile. Visit spectrum.com/itpays-to-switch for full details. Offer subject to change. Service not available in all areas. Restrictions apply.
Longer days mean longer rides. Make sure your bike, your